Celebrating our 20th anniversary of college football on ESPN, we welcome you to College Football Thursday, presented by Panasonic. We're in the ACC to watch a Maryland team looking for 6 in a row, taking on a Georgia Tech group that's won its last 3, looking for its 3rd huge win of this 2003 season. Head coach is here tonight. A couple of guys who have made their mark, no on offense. Ralph Friedgen, 3rd year at his alma mater, with a win tonight. He'll have the most wins of any ACC coach in his first 3 years. On the other side, Chan Gailey, 2nd year in Atlanta, man who took the Dallas Cowboys to the playoffs in his couple of seasons as their head coach in Big D. The weather is ideal, as it has been most of the month of September and October here in Atlanta. Comfortable, low humidity, light breeze, and no bad weather in the forecast. As mentioned earlier, Maryland has lost to 2 teams that find themselves right in the top 10 of the BCS rankings in Northern Illinois and Florida State. Obviously, the win over the Citadel, that really kicked it in, with wins over West Virginia, in Ypsilanti against Eastern Michigan, then beating Clemson and Duke before having the Saturday off. Meantime, Georgia Tech comes in at 4-3, lost the opener at BYU on ESPN2, came back with an impressive win over Auburn, dominated the Florida State game, losing, giving up 2 touchdowns in the last couple of minutes. Then it looked like the season was south after losing to Clemson by 36. But wins over Vandy and conference wins the last 2 have Tech in much better stead. With Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Dr. Jerry Punch, Mike Tirico. Glad you're on board. Guys, what do you look for here at the start of the game tonight?
Well, Maryland won the toss and deferred, so Georgia Tech will take the football to start this football game. And I really think with the way Maryland's playing coming into this game with their confidence, and because Georgia Tech's playing the true freshman Reggie Ball, Gary Blackney, the defense coordinator from Maryland, will put as much pressure early in this game as possible to see if they can come up with some momentum and to try to get a turnover early in the game.
I agree with you 100%. With one situation that I would do, I'm not so sure I'd give him pressure all the time. I'd mix it up and try to get Reggie Ball to be thinking. If you get the kid to think, we got a shot.
Nick Novak is the kickoff man. He is a strong-legged NFL caliber kicker, 15 touchbacks already this season. Dennis Davis and Kenny Scott back deep to receive for Georgia Tech. As Kirk mentioned, Maryland won the toss, defer the option of the second half. If Georgia Tech wins tonight, Florida State with a win on Saturday can win a share of the ACC title before Halloween. Maryland trying to keep its title hopes alive as a one-loss team in the conference. 3rd straight year this game's on College Football Thursday. Glad to be in Atlanta, and off we go on College Football Thursday from Georgia Tech. Too deep for Kenny Scott. He'll take a knee. Another touchback for Novak, and brings out the man we've talked about. You haven't seen Reggie Ball, think you're going to like him. He's 20 minutes away from here, Stone Mountain, Georgia. Chan Gailey told us yesterday, this is the last guy on my list to be the quarterback when the preseason started. He's been first on the depth chart for 8 weeks.
Well, when we asked Coach Chan Gailey to describe Reggie Ball as a quarterback, he said he's an athlete playing quarterback with tremendous poise and confidence for a true freshman. Great compliment to that young man.
Chan Gailey, a guy who understands offense, has utilized limited personnel in a very efficient manner. Jonathan Smith, Nate Curry, the receivers to start. First plays a run. P.J. Daniels seeks the left side and picks up about 5. Daniels is 2nd in the ACC in yards per game. He starts the Bud Light lineups along with Jimmy Dixon. The receivers, Smith over 100 yards per catch. That's best in the conference. Curry, a speedster out of Florida. Up front and blocking, Nat Dorsey, a junior, has been starting for 3 years. He's an NFL caliber player. Hugh Riley, the center. This will be the 459th snap for him at center. This will be Georgia Tech's 459th snap of the season. He's been in there for every one. 2nd and 5, play pass. Only one receiver here, so ball will run just shy of the line at the 30. And it's going to be very close. Now they've marked it at the 30, so he'll get a first down against this Maryland defense that is very tough to move it on. They play variations of 3 or 4 down linemen. Feldheim, the nose man, starts a defensive tackle. A lot of pub draws double teams. DeQuell Jackson, a terrific linebacker, top tackler on this team, a sophomore. Sean Merriman, he's going to play a Leo position, half linebacker, half defensive end, and he's good. with tonight's start, these 4 guys, Foxworth, Wilson, Williams, Cox, they total 112 starts. I challenge you to find a more experienced defensive backfield in the nation. First down run for Daniels. It's 3. Love 2nd and 7. Leroy Ambush. Couldn't have a better name for a linebacker. Ambush gets in there for the tackle. A good start of the opening drive for Chan Gailey's offense, picking up yardage on the ground. They're not afraid to throw it with ball. Just go back to their last game against Wake Forest. A couple of deep passes early to Jonathan Smith really set the tone for the night. This time they go 3 receivers, no tight end. Daniels the left side, has a first down out to the 47-yard line. So strong, hard running for the sophomore from Houston, P.J. Daniels, as Kirk had mentioned earlier. Now, this guy was like 6th, 7th team coming in last year.
This is an offensive line that is the strength of this offense because of the experience. They're going to blow people off the ball, get some good leverage, great angle blocking, and you can just see all the way across the board the big block there by Kyle Wallace, the right tackle, who takes the linebacker off of the screen, Leon Joe, to open up that big hole. So far in the early going, Georgia Tech controlling things up front at the line of scrimmage.
Levon Thomas, the receiver, in motion. Ball will throw. High, be careful, almost intercepted. It was intended for Nate Curry. Kevin Eli was putting on the pressure as really no receiver came open, and Jerome Cox had the coverage.
Well, we can see Chan Gailey's offensive game plan very, very soon. Run, 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 and then bootleg with ball to the outside, particularly to his right. And what they're doing now is they're coming off the ball and put somebody in everybody's face at Maryland and challenging their manhood and doing a nice job. Then they're bootlegging ball, Kirk, around the outside so they don't have to pressure him. I like that.
Yeah, it is smart, and I think it puts a lot of pressure on those outside linebackers and defensive ends to be disciplined to stay at home off the bootleg.
2nd and 10, straight drop this time for Ball. Look long, cover, takes off and runs, and gains a couple of yards. Boy, as soon as he makes up his mind that he's going to go, you can see some of that true freshman in him. I'm tucking and I'm a running back.
Well, that's exactly the point that Chan Gailey made to us. As he grows up and matures, you're going to see him get back in the pocket and not just take off the run to get yards with his quickness, but try to buy a little bit of extra time to get the ball downfield. Chan Gailey said of all the quarterbacks he's ever been around, Troy Aikman was as good a quarterback as he's ever had at buying a little extra time and finding an open receiver downfield.
I feel bad for the Georgia Tech quarterbacks. Have you been around a quarterback who's, well, yeah, this guy going to Canton named Aikman?
Yeah.
3rd and 8. A pocket to throw. It's high and incomplete. Got in the direction of Jonathan Smith, who was well covered. So after running the ball well for a couple of first downs, Tech's going to have to kick it away. Hal Higgins comes in. A truly heartwarming story. Hodgkin's disease threatened not only the football career but the life of Hal Higgins back in 1999. Regained health, cancer-free, kicking this year, kicking to Steve Suter. Nobody in the history of Maryland football over 111 years has returned it for more punt yardage than Suter. They've been kicking away from him this year. He's going to get his hands on it this time at the 8. Made a couple of men miss, and look out. Suter on the move across the 20 into the 26-yard line. Frustrated because he hasn't been able to get his hands on it. Got it that time with some yapping and other stuff after his 19-yard return. Scott McBrien's the quarterback. He started his career at West Virginia, transferred after Rich Rodriguez got there. He's been so good in practice, Kirk, they need to get it to the game now.
They want to see it transfer from the practice field to the game. This is a guy, he's a veteran quarterback. He's 16-5 as a starting quarterback at Maryland. He knows what needs to be done. It's just a matter of relaxing, going out and having fun, and not pressing. He needs to start off well tonight.
He has Bruce Perry back in the backfield. First down throw with a flag down is caught close to the 40-yard line. The pickup for Suter, the punt man, of a dozen yards. Jim Knight out of North Carolina is our ACC referee here this evening.
Offside. Defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty.
So it'll be 1st and 5. Perry's back in the lineup. If he gets 4 yards, he goes over 2,000. Fiddler's a blocker. Dugan's an improved tight end, both blocking and catching. Suter has the speed. Latrez Harrison used to be a quarterback. As far as their guys up front, well, you saw it in travels with Trev. Let's see how they play on the football field. Brooks, the guitar picker, and Bryant, the singer, along with Kyle Schmidt, Eric Dumas, and Stephen Hine. It's a Maryland offense that leads the ACC in rushing at 170 yards per game. Much of it due to those guys up front. For Ralph Friedgen, a former offensive lineman at Maryland.
Giving Scott McBride a lot of opportunities at the line of scrimmage to get the offense in the right play.
1st and 10 as they decline the penalty because the play itself picked up a dozen. McBride throws incomplete. Miscommunication. Latrez Harrison never looked back for the ball. Why don't we check the Georgia Tech defense that they're going up against? They're missing 3 guys who would be starting otherwise. So Eric Henderson has to continue to step up. Half dozen sacks this year. Quote from the defensive coordinator: "The key to everything we do." De'Aaron Fox, Darryl Smith, the linebackers. Back in the secondary, those 4-year starters are backed up by Houston and Cox on the corner, DeJuan Landry and James Butler. If you remember a name from there, 22. 3 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles. Sticks his nose in the run game. Here he comes, but it's a pass. Are they covered back for Suter, who's streaking long? Couldn't pull it in. Pass was defended by Jonathan Cox, the senior out of Chicago. We'll have 3rd down coming up.
And the one thing I like about this call immediately from Charlie Taffet is to throw the ball long and get the defensive backs back. And remember one thing also about, I found this interesting, Maryland has scored first in all 7 games this year. That means they come out with a very good offensive game plan. I like the deep pass. Kirk early, loosen them up.
Third and 10, which 5 come? There they are, intercepted by Butler, who is dangerously carrying the ball like a loaf of bread. But the man we pointed out in the lineups, James Butler, the 4th INT, but McBride was pressured by Jonathan Cox, who deserves much of the credit. Georgia Tech has the ball near midfield. We'll check out Reggie Ball again when you come back. Glad you joined us on this Thursday night, College Football Thursday in Atlanta. Good matchup in the ACC. And James Butler, the junior safety for Georgia Tech, comes up with the interception of Maryland quarterback Scott McBride. 5th interception thrown by McBride this year. His Maryland team looking for a 6th consecutive win after losses to Northern Illinois and Florida State. Scoreless with Georgia Tech. Each team has had a drive. The Yellow Jackets take over in great field position. Jake Daniels, their running back, tried to get away from the initial surge, but Kevin Eli brings him down. No gain. Coach Corso, the Under Armour advantage each side tonight.
Well, Georgia Tech's got an athletic quarterback in Reggie Ball. He's thrown over for 1,400 yards, averaging 200 per game. But he's got Jonathan Smith, a wideout, averages 18 yards per reception. Big play receivers. Now on Maryland's side, they got a red-hot offense. Their last 5 wins, 37 points a game. Why? Tremendous red zone offense and an athletic defense that's 10th in the nation.
Sets the table. P.J. Daniels rushing to the 45. So after no gain, given about 6 or 7. We'll have 3rd down coming up. Kirk, why did that interception happen on the other side?
A reoccurring theme that you're going to see tonight. Both defenses love zone pressure. Here, Cox off the corner. Key Fox is going to be coming right up the middle. And a defensive end, Wilkinson, is going to drop into coverage. And that was enough, really, to deflect, I think, the vision of McBride when he got back in. See the confusion? They bring the defensive, they bring the linebacker, they bring the corner. And they dropped the defensive end, and that drop by Wilkinson got right in the window of where McBride wanted to go with the ball.
Now you got to make it pay with the great field position, but it'll be 3rd and long after a false start on right tackle. Kyle Wallace, 77 for Tech.
Good ball, false start, offense, 5 yards.
we've talked about this, guys, coming into the broadcast. Both defenses, if they get you into 3rd and long, are going to bring a lot of pressure. The zone blitz. John Tenuta for Georgia Tech, the defensive coordinator, does a great job with his schemes and being aggressive and attacking. And you'll see them tonight doing that a number of times on 2nd long and 3rd long. He calls them zone dogs, and he's going to bring a lot of pressure tonight on McBride.
Dogs or not, vision or not, that was a bad pass. The reason why it was intercepted was a bad pass.
3rd and 9. Maryland brings some heat. Reggie Ball gets it away. Can he find a receiver? No. So he threw it away. And incomplete. Flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Could be ineligible receiver downfield. They might have had one of the big linemen pass the line. Let's check the flag. It's 3rd and 9 and an incompletion. And it was a lineman pass midfield where the line of scrimmage was. Probably decline this and kick it away since it's 4th down.
Ineligible downfield on the offense. That penalty is declined.
And on comes the punting unit.
Well, psychologically, you turn the ball out and they call it, change of possession. Maryland wins this one. They 3 and out. Very good defense by Maryland that time. They take the ball away from
them. Great field position for Georgia Tech. And nothing to show for it.
Suter caught the last one inside the 10. Sometimes the rule of thumb is don't catch it inside the 10. Good rush. I don't know if the man trying to get in there got a piece of it, but in any case, it resulted in a poor kick for Higgins. Out towards the 30, and it's less than 20. Just an 18-yard punt. Well, college football this weekend on ESPN. Saturday night, SEC on ESPN2 and ESPN. Arkansas Ole Miss will be on ESPN2. You'll see Eli Manning. And on ESPN, Auburn at number 9 LSU. That game also available on ESPN HD. College football, ESPN and ESPN2. Every game a must win. See last night. Congratulations to Rich Rodriguez and West Virginia as they beat Virginia Tech. And the former Mountaineer Scott McBride climbs back under center for the Terps. To Bruce Perry, no game. May have even lost a yard. Well, we talked about the BCS standings. Here are the BCS standings brought to you by Allstate. But we have it set up here so the top 2 teams, that's where you have to get to be in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. So it's the chase there. Obviously, Virginia Tech will come down, and all the one-loss teams getting new life after what happened last night. Now only one game, one day with Oklahoma or Miami brings them back in the title picture. On 2nd and 11 after the loss of a yard. Play clock winding down. Perry again. Cannot get back to the original line. Travis Parker cleaned it up on the backside. Key Fox with the surge in front. Guys, that game yesterday where we see Virginia Tech obviously will drop from that number 3 spot.
They lost last night to Virginia Tech. For our broadcast team that has had a chance to see some Thursday night games, I don't think any of us were shocked by that game. Maybe the fact it was a blowout, it was one-sided, shocked us, but you know what West Virginia is capable of doing. But what that does now is it opens it up to everybody, USC, Georgia, everybody, Ohio State, Florida State, Nebraska. And Mike, you said it, one more upset against either Miami or Oklahoma, and it's
full pressure on McBride. He finds Latrez Harrison, the former quarterback, hung with the current quarterback to midfield. First down, pickup of 19.
Boy, you talk about an athletic play. Scott McBride runs away. Watch him get away from the free safety blitz. But the thing I liked about him, Kirk, after he gets away from the free safety blitz, watch this. He gets away. He squares his shoulders. Boom. Nice quick release, wasn't it?
He did a really nice job with the Ole to try to avoid the pressure, but you're right. There's the difference in Reggie Ball as a freshman and a senior, and Scott McBride looking downfield.
That was good play.
Out of the gun here is Perry. Gets to the 47-yard line. Pickup of 3, and he's about a yard away from getting to 2,000 in his career. After his first year, it's hard to believe we'd be talking about 2,000 career yards now. 2001, he had the huge game against Wake Forest, finalist for the Doak Walker, ACC Offensive Player of the Year with that second best school yardage game. However, last year, an injury-plagued year, all stemming around abdominal and groin injuries, and the injury bug has plagued him again this year with a high ankle sprain. This is healthy as he's been all season, and Jerry can tell us more about that. McBrien's toss is complete to JoJo Walker. The sophomore receiver gets it out to the 35-yard line, first down.
Talk about Bruce Perry. One more point. The thing that intrigued me, Kirk and Mike, is this kid's a strong football player. He bench presses 330 pounds. That's 125 pounds more than his body weight. That's good, Kirk. That's very, very good. That's good, Mike. I'm telling you, that's really good.
What I like is how he can cut on a dime without slowing down. He's got incredible acceleration.
Just like that.
Yep. Perry inside. He'll gain a half dozen here. And I love when Maryland's offense gets going. We saw it in this stadium with Georgia Tech so often. They run a great tempo of offense. Yeah. That's a basketball term when it applies to football.
Well, I think that's what's happened in these last 5 games for Maryland is they've been able to get back to the balance. Ralph Friedgen has not only a sophisticated scheme, but a scheme where you better be able to protect and defend against the run and the pass. The last 5 games, they've averaged 37 points because they've gotten back to that balance.
Perry ducks it to the outside, got to the 22-yard line, and it picks up a first down. Darrell Smith with the tackle. And a nice drive going here against Smith and the Tech defense.
Well, this is another example of what a healthy Bruce Perry can do. You know, with an ordinary back, this is just maybe a gain of 1 or 2, but he makes a cut right into the middle on Landry, the safety, who's a very athletic defensive player. He just made a quick little cut and accelerated upfield and got 5 more yards.
This is what Friedgen does well. A lot of different personnel. Now it's 2 tight ends. The fullback Fiddler's in there. Lone wide receiver Derek Fenner. Nothing there, though, as Georgia Tech was ready for it. Travis Parker, Eric Henderson with the surge, and the kid out of New Orleans made the tackle.
Now, we're talking about Ralph Friedgen a lot like it's his offense. It is. But Charlie Taffy, former head coach at Citadel, calls the plays. Now, that's good offensive balance, but we got to give a little credit to Charlie Taffy upstairs who's calling the plays. Now, we'd show it to him, but he's behind the post, and we can't show it to him, right?
He's got a bad seat.
He's got a bad seat.
Out of the gun, 2nd and 10, going towards the Tech student section. That's why it's a little louder. McBrien's pass to Perry. He lost the handle. That's a fumble. Georgia Tech has it. Darrell Smith, the recovery. Dennis Davis, the nickelback, knocked it away. So often when a guy is hurt and hasn't practiced all year, one of those shots, and he coughs it up. And a guy who's normally sure-handed, Perry, gives it up. It was a nice-looking drive. Maryland had momentum, but the hit by the junior Davis, the recovery by the senior Smith will give Reggie Ball the ball inside his own 30 as we come back. Scoreless in Atlanta.
Football Thursday, presented by Panasonic Plasma HD TV. Breathtaking design and a picture that's in a class by itself. Panasonic, ideas for life. And in part by the new Ford F-150. Built Ford Top.
Technology Square here at Georgia Tech. Full name Georgia Institute of Technology. Some wonderful architecture and great new buildings going up. And a sweet coffee shop on the way to the stadium, too, which was a nice ad for yesterday. First down run for P.J. Daniels. And you get him about 4 yards on the play. We'll have 2nd and 6. Mention those linebackers, Kearon Fox and Darrell Smith. So important to what this Georgia Tech team, everything that they do centers around those 2 guys. Smith able to be a part of the turnover with the fumble recovery a moment ago, stripped by that man, the nickelback, Dennis Davis. After the turnover by Perry, he's watched his opposite number, P.J. Daniels, carry for an average of 5 yards on his 6 carries. Number 7 will only gain a yard, trying to establish the run to make it a little bit easier on the true freshman quarterback, Reggie Ball. I asked him yesterday what's been the toughest part and the most enjoyable part of taking this job over.
The toughest part is adjusting to the speed and knowing your reads, knowing where people are going to be, knowing when they're going to be there. And the best part is just coming in and being a young guy. I mean, it always feels good to be, you know, the youngest guy on the field, but still playing up with the big boys, you know. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun, but you got to know your stuff.
very humble young man. Anybody that we had a chance to talk to in the last 48 hours about Reggie Ball, they all say he acts like a junior. Even in his first game against BYU, he's very poised.
Pass to his tight end, John Paul Foshee, first down, out to the 45-yard line. A dozen yards later, Zaquel Jackson made the tackle for the Terps.
Keep talking about that great offensive scheme, Charlie Taff and Ralph Friedgen, but here I thought this was a nice call on third down to be able to just clear out, kind of flood the zone, and then bring your tight end out to the flat where the corner was. It's a nice vacated area and a nice throw by Ball for the first down.
Foshee has only caught 9 passes this year. That was his 10th, but he's caught 2 touchdowns. So they like him in the red zone.
And it's great for a true freshman quarterback to have that tight end dependable and in the receiving game. First down run for P.J. Daniels. Got his big offensive lineman, Matt Dorsey, up front. He picked up 4 for Moron, the true freshman quarterback. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
And Michael, we asked Reggie Ball, you know, where did you get the best piece of advice to start the year before you began your first game at BYU? He said, you know what, it may surprise you. My best piece of advice came from an unusual source, the guy I was competing for the job with. Redshirt senior quarterback A.J. Suggs told me before the BYU game, hey, Reggie, just go out and have some fun. You got to relax and just let it go. You're a great athlete. Let it go, and you'll be a great quarterback. How about that for unselfishness from A.J. Suggs, the backup quarterback?
A guy who completed 57% of his passes last year and watches the freshman Ball not see what he liked defensively, so he calls first time out of the night. Ball right near midfield. Second down when you come back to Georgia Tech. Back here in the expanded Bobby Dodd Stadium, 55,000, the new seating capacity. This is one of the neat settings in football. You see all the big buildings of Atlanta, especially when we come here for a college football Thursday. It's so nice, always lit up. The capital of Georgia, the unofficial capital of the South here in Atlanta.
That's almost as nice as beautiful downtown Orlando.
Very, very closely. Second down after the timeout. Jonathan Smith, the speedster, took it out to the 40 and the 39. A dozen yards later in a first down. Smith's body was going one way. His head was pulled the other way, and that's why he's slow to get up.
Oh, the thing I like about this is they come out of a timeout, right? Mike and Kirk come out with a quick pass on an automatic. That's good coaching. That's very good coaching by Chan Gailey. He knew what he wanted, went out and did it. Great job of looking and coming out right away.
And I think what makes their receivers so dynamic is what they do after they make a catch. It might be a simple throw, but his quickness and ability to get upfield is what makes him such a great receiver. He's had 2 great weeks in a row, Jonathan Smith.
Ball is pressured, throws. It is complete. A very short gain to the backup tight end, Darius Williams. Second catch for the junior out of Clarkston, Georgia, as Jonathan Smith continues to try to work out the kinks on the sideline. He got pulled in a couple of different directions on that tackle.
Ooh.
Here's the injury from earlier.
You know, I tell you what, Reggie Ball, I like him already. He got away from my man, Madu Williams. Remember that number 10?
Oh, yeah, that's our guy.
He was on the blitz, and he didn't tackle him. Reggie Ball can play.
It's a second down. Quarterback draw. The good runner Ball is met in the hole by Leon Joe, but bounced forward to get a first down. Reggie's had a couple of rushing touchdowns of 45 yards. He's not a huge quarterback by any stretch. Under 6 feet, 192 pounds. And when you meet Leon Joe, you've been introduced to one of the meanest, toughest linebackers you'll find.
The thing that I've been impressed with here in just the first quarter and watching Reggie Ball is that he's not making silly mistakes to hurt his offense. Whether it's scrambling and throwing the ball away, scrambling away and getting away from pressure the way Madu Williams is coming after him, and just hitting a little 4-yard pass where he got out of bounds. He's not making silly mistakes for a young quarterback.
Quick toss is incomplete, deflected as he was trying to get right back to the tight end, Foshee. C.J. Feldheim, the nose man, made the deflection.
And this goes back to what Chan Gailey told us. Chan told us before he was an athlete playing quarterback. And that's what he liked about him. Remember we asked him, could he throw well? He said, can he run well? And he's an athlete playing. Yep. Wonderful description of this kid right here. Athlete playing quarterback.
Has not been picked off. over the last few ball games. Pressure coming here. He throws. Well, a well-timed graphic in the truck. Intercepted by Jerome Cox. There's a penalty marker down on the far sideline at the line of scrimmage, so let's check that first. It looks like it's against the Yellow Jackets, so the pressure from the reserve DB Andrew Smith helps Cox get the pick.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. Declined. First down.
This is a heck of a play by Jerome Cox, because we're going to look at Reggie Ball. He's going to get back. He's going to take only one hitch and deliver the football. Initially, you might think it's late, but watch Cox sit on the outcut. He knew exactly where Curry wanted to go. As soon as he dipped down, Cox jumped on it. Cox is a 4-year start. He's got 41 starts under his belt, and he knew when Curry broke down where to go. He jumped that. Great play by Jerome Cox.
He's known as the Jay Leno of the team. He's the wisecrack guy. He doesn't have the same chin as Leno, but cracks him up nonetheless. From the 20, Scott McBrien back on the field for Maryland. And the first down run is going to pick up about 4 yards, maybe 5 for Josh Allen, the backup to Bruce Perry, the sophomore out of Tampa in the lineup. Hey, Sunday night, pretty important NFL game. The Buffalo Bills take on the undefeated 7-0 Kansas City Chiefs. Game time after NFL primetime, presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern. For more, log on to ESPN.com. The Chiefs, the last remaining unbeaten in the AFC. As you look at the best teams thus far, Buffalo off to the great start, now at 4-3. McBrien runs option, picks up about a yard, tackled by De'Aaron Fox and Joe Hanawai. Final minute coming up, opening quarter, no score.
Talking to Scott McBrien yesterday in our meetings, I said, you know, you're a guy last year who can run some option, play action pass. You used a great deal of athletic ability. He said, you know what? This year I've had a groin that's bothered me since two-a-days. We haven't been able to exploit that ability from the offense, and they'll sprinkle it in a little bit just to keep defenses honest. But this is where Georgia Tech likes to come after the quarterback on 3rd and 5.
Tight end Dugan in motion. Watch the pressure. McBrien's quick toss is caught by Latrez Harrison. First down at the 33-yard line. I love visiting with Latrez Harrison. I had the chance doing an ABC game back a few years ago. They're just talking here to make sure it is a catch or if it was an incomplete pass. Oh, they're going to say incomplete now. Incomplete. And they're going to have to kick it away. Ralph Friedgen had his headset and hat off in one fell swoop. And displeasure from the head coach. They'll have to kick it away. Harrison had to play quarterback against Florida State a couple of years ago as a true freshman. Now he's a reliable receiver for McBrien. As you see, it came through as it got into the body.
You see the nose of the ball from McBrien pointing downward. It makes it very, very difficult for Harrison to make that catch. And you could see the ball did touch the surface.
Nice replay, guys. Adam Podlesh, the redshirt freshman out of the Rochester area in upstate New York. Pittsford turns over a great kick. There's a marker down as it's chased back by Jonathan Smith at the 20. And he's tackled at the 22. What a kick. 52 yards, and another flag is down at the spot of the catch. So we'll have a couple of flags for Jim Knight to deal with here in the final few seconds of the first. One at the line, one where the punt was caught. Podlesh done a nice job kicking this year, replacing Brooks Bernard, who has left Maryland as the all-time best punter in Terp history. It's not enough guys on the line, and that's a push in the back. Usually means we kick it again. Check that out. As they talk to Reggie Ball, the captain, even though he's a true freshman, always come to the quarterback. Never look for those senior captains. What do you want to do?
Riley says, hey, I've been around a little bit longer. I know what's going on.
Illegal procedure. Offense. Illegal block in the back by the receiving team. The penalties were offset.
You know, guys, all the talk of the offenses in this game because the coaches are offensive minds, but Georgia Tech gives up 18 points a game. Maryland in the 15 range, top 10 in the nation. So this figured to be a defensive battle coming in. It's what we've seen thus far.
Two outstanding defensive coordinators. Maryland's Gary Blackney and John Tenuta from Georgia Tech. Those are two of the best in the country, and they're matching witches now with those other offensive coaches.
You know, I thought was great was when we talked with Georgia Tech and John Tenuta. He talked about pressure, confusion, getting after the quarterback. Talked with Gary Blackney. He said, hey, my defense is built around pressure, confusion, and putting as much pressure as we can on the quarterback. So mirror image of one another, and a lot of success so far in that first quarter.
Now let's see if Podlesh can get this great kickoff a second time around. This one not as good. Only 39 yards. Smith on the run at the 35. Return of 5. Nice field position. Georgia Tech gains 22 yards on the field position exchange. Dequel Jackson made the tackle as we're down to 7 seconds left here in the opening quarter.
Neither offense really can find a rhythm. It's very, very tough against these defenses. You know, and to be honest, I mean, we've talked a lot about Reggie Ball, but I think Georgia Tech is a team that they've got to get P.J. Daniels involved. They've got to be able to run the football and mix up the play-action pass as well, just like Maryland does, and neither team's been able to get the running game going at all.
19 plays for Georgia Tech, 11 runs, 8 passes thus far. And a little option look. It gets to Jonathan Smith. The quick receiver has it in his hands. It's taken out of bounds at the 43 as the opening quarter comes to an end. So each team has turned it over a few times here. We haven't had a lot of scoring threats, and we have no points on College Football Thursday right here in the middle of downtown Atlanta, Georgia. Good to have you with us, seated alongside the Georgia Tech band here in Bobby Dodd Stadium, oldest Division I-A stadium in the country. Been playing football on this site since the early 19-teens. Quarter number 2 with Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Dr. Jerry Punch, Mike Tirico. Glad you're with us. 2nd and 6 to start the second, and the true freshman Reggie Ball throws to Jonathan Smith. Great moves for the first down across midfield into Maryland territory at the 44. The ball came out, but he was down. Pickup of a dozen for Smith, who is slow to get up after every play since he took that hit in the first quarter. Guys, in that first quarter, 46 plays were run. We had 3 turnovers, 3 punts, 146 combined yards. But 46 plays in a quarter, that is a lot of plays. It's on pace for about a 190 play game. It's a lot when you have no points scored. In Maryland territory, Ball has time. He's looking deep downfield for Demarius Bilbo. Incomplete. Now, Bilbo's a former quarterback. There is another Tech quarterback in the building, standing by with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, Michael, he's wearing a Georgia Tech name tag, but this guy doesn't need any kind of introduction. Heisman Trophy runner-up, Davey O'Brien Award winner, All-American, and Atlantic Coast Conference Player of the Year, Joe Hamilton. And Joe, you began your 4-year career here as a redshirt freshman quarterback. Now, Reggie Ball is a true freshman. How tough is it to be the man, have to go out here and shoulder an offense when you're 18 or 19 years old?
It's tough, man. I got utmost respect for Reggie because he's a true freshman. I did it as a redshirt freshman, and just coming over here is really tough. That being in the huddle. You know, to get the seniors' leadership and get the seniors' attention is very hard as a true freshman. I think he's won that with his play. He's so poised. I love him to death. I talk to him at least twice a week when I come down here to work out, and he's awesome. He's going to be awesome for a lot of years to come.
A lot of people compare him to you. In fact, that and there's a lot of people who question his ability because he's under 6 foot tall. You're in here about the same height. You can get it done at 5'10" or 5'11", can't you?
Oh, you definitely can get it done. I think, you know, even if you're 6'5", 6'4", 6'3", you got to make lanes for you to throw the ball. And I think quarterbacks, that's been that way since he was in high school. He know how to throw the ball through lanes and how to find ways to win. And that's what's all about, winning. Winning is what counts to me, and I think Reggie has that same mentality.
Joe Hamilton gave him some great memories here. He's waiting for the phone to ring, hoping to get back to Canada or maybe a job in the NFL. Mike?
Doc, 3rd and 7, ball on the run, threw it away, a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. Good pressure by the Maryland defense and coverage as well. As we wait to check the flag, how good is it to see little Joe back here at Bobby Dodd Stadium? Penalty on Tech.
Little Joe, I think, represents the small man trying to play quarterback very well, not only because of his dimensions, but because of his attitude. Did you hear him talk about being a winner? Forget about being 6'4". It's about being a winning quarterback, and he talked about his attitude and Reggie Ball's attitude, and that's what they have most in common, is that attitude. He also said, you know, I was a redshirt freshman. What Reggie's doing as a true freshman is remarkable, because he was on a high school field last year.
Stevenson High School, 20 minutes away from here.
And I tell you, I liked about Joey Hamilton is the way he played against Florida State. Remember that one game he had him never back down against Florida State, took him on.
Penalty here was illegal procedure. It was declined, so Georgia Tech forced to kick it away, and Hal Higgins tries to get it out of bounds, and he's missed that one as well. You're going to see the guy on the side, the official, walk with his hand up. He looks back to the referee, and the referee tells him the best angle where to stop, and he tells him right there at the 28, which means the punt was only 14 yards. Not very good. This guy was very good. Talk about Little Joe from 96 to 99. Rewrote the Georgia Tech record books. He also had more rushing yards than any quarterback ever at Georgia Tech. 1,758.
And because of his versatility, remember, he was here when Ralph Regin was the offensive coordinator, and I think he understood Ralph Regin's offense as well as any quarterback that Ralph Regin's ever had as a head coach or as a coordinator.
Somebody saw the highlight. Joe, I saw you again. You still look fast. There you see those numbers, some great all-time ACC marks. That just skims the surface on Joe Hamilton's rewrite of the record book, and Ralph Regin still talks about it. We were talking about offense, and well, with Joe, you could do things. He doesn't have to say Joe Hamilton at Georgia Tech. Talk to Ralph, you know what he says when he means things we did with Joe. 2nd and 10 after a McBrien overthrow. His handoff to Josh Allen doesn't go very far. And this Georgia Tech defense is playing well. That is the 3rd time we've called the sophomore out of California, Travis Parker.
Remember, Georgia Tech's defense is #1 in the AC against run and number 17 in the nation against the run. And they play what they call a hit aggressive defense. And I tell you what I like. John Tenuta mixes up his defenses as well as any coach I've seen. And let me tell you, if I was a pro coach tomorrow, I'd hire that guy on my staff immediately. He's one of the best defensive coordinators in the country, John Tenuta.
I've been telling you about him for years.
I know, he's good.
He's good, isn't he?
He's very good.
Showing a little pressure off the corner. Here it comes. Flag is down. McBrien's throw is incomplete. Let's see if that pressure got in too quick. Off the edge. Flag thrown by the line judge, Sterling Allen. Oh, the wide receiver flinched and moved, so they're going to kick it away. So just 65 yards in 19 plays for this Maryland offense. Not what you're used to seeing out of a Ralph Regin team. And Podlesh will kick it again. Jonathan Smith had a 21-yard return for his long of the year. Trying to get some room to run here. Pretty good kick. 42 yards. Here's Smith from the 30. Need to make a man miss. He does. But because they had a good rush, not much blocking back. DeQuell Jackson made the tackle after return of 8. Georgia Tech's had decent field position. They cashed it into nothing. We've had nothing in terms of points. First 17 and a half. Atlanta, Georgia always gets a bad rap for not having great fans. One thing that is true around here, college football is king. You can talk college football anybody, anytime in Atlanta, right?
SEC or
SEC
ACC.
Yep.
I'm telling you, they love college football.
Forget the pro sports. This is college football.
No offside call there as P.J. Daniels moves forward for a pickup of 4 to the 41. If you're just surfing over, show you what's been happening here. Defensive struggle, scoreless, 3 minutes in second quarter. Maryland has turned it over a couple of times. Scott McBrien, an interception, and a fumble on a pass reception by Bruce Perry. Dennis Davis caused the fumble that was recovered by Darryl Smith. Meantime, the true freshman Reggie Ball, 53 total yards, but he was intercepted the last drive by the senior Jerome Cox. This game has been played between the 20s. McBride or Ball, neither one have snapped it in the red zone yet tonight. Ball, quick toss to the tight end, Foshu. Legs cut out from under him by Dominique Foxworth. Pickup of a yard. We'll have 3rd and 5 coming up. Love these defensive backs with Foxworth, Denard Wilson, Madu Williams, and Jerome Cox. Over 100 starts in the group. Part of an experienced group, and DeQuell Jackson, one of the younger guys in there. But 9 starters in this defense have 20-plus starts. Unheard of for the most part in college football these days.
And that experience helps so much with the timing of the blitz package, and more than likely might be trying to use that as a decoy here to drop. No, they're going to come again.
Light up the freshman. Ball, who got hit as he threw, was incomplete. At time it was your guy.
My guy.
Madu Williams.
Remember, we saw him last year, and we said one thing about Madu Williams. He could play at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That was the highest compliment we ever said.
And Madu Williams this time, we just talked about the experience of having 9 guys that know this scheme. Look how far back Madu Williams is, and look at the pressure that he's going to be able to get. Times it perfectly and catches Reggie Ball. He has to throw it off his back foot just to get it off.
Al Higgins had to turn it over in his hands as he got it. Andy Thompson, I beg your pardon, kicked it that time to Suter, who was knocked down at the 30-yard line. So a punter change there. Thompson comes in after the bad kick, and Andrew Economos, the deep snapper, made the tackle. See if McBride can get going against this good Tech defense when you come back.
ESPN's College Football Thursday, brought to you by Under Armour Performance Apparel. The advantage is undeniable. And by Singular, the wireless company that fits you best.
Well, nobody is doing any stinging here on the offensive side. This is the 5th drive from Maryland. This is about their average field position. Their own 29. Here in the shadows of the big buildings in Atlanta, we are scoreless. Option, put it on the ground. And Sammy Maldonado has to come back and cover it. A loss of 7 yards on that. I'll mention this is the 5th drive. Let's look at a little drive chart, see how Maryland has not progressed offensively. 2 turnovers, 2 3-and-outs. Doesn't make the coach very happy.
They can't. Go ahead.
No, I think that has a lot to do with the Georgia Tech defense.
Yeah, so too.
And John Tenuta. They're very well coached on defense, this Georgia Tech football team.
And when you're not going offensively, 2nd and long is not a very nice thing. McBride out of the gun, uncorks it. Out of bounds. Incomplete. Latrez Harrison and Jonathan Cox went step for step, stride for stride, and the receiver never had a chance to breathe.
Go back to the first drive for Maryland. They took a shot down the field just to stretch that great defense of Georgia Tech, because they're just committing so much to the run. And there it is again. I think you're going to have to continue to try to take your shots downfield to try to stretch that Georgia Tech defense vertically, because you can't. Maryland can't establish anything running the football because Georgia Tech's committing to that to take it away.
3rd and 17. Which 5 will come? We're going to keep it on the ground with McBride, who got stuck by DeJuan Landry. Coming down the alley, a pickup of just 5, and it is another punt.
Remember we met with John Tenuta, the defensive coordinator. He said his whole philosophy is pressure and 3rd and long.
I'm coming.
Perfect example last week against Wake Forest. They were 1 out of 13 in 3rd and long situations.
Well, he says it's his philosophy, it's his personality.
Yeah.
If he gets a defense or an offense in 2nd long and 3rd long, it's just his nature. He's coming. It's just a matter of trying to figure out where they're coming from.
See if they set up a return this time with Potlish to punt again. Fair cut by Smith. The kick was 40. Tech continues to have the field position advantage.
I thought it was pretty interesting here on the option. The quarterback's going to come down, but Henderson, the defensive end, he's going to come down and then up to the pitch, forcing McBride to cut it upfield. They want the quarterback to hold on to the football. They don't want Chris Perry or Josh Allen to have a chance. Just take the back away, let number 7 keep it, and then come up and hold him to 6 or 7 yards and force the punt.
And most important thing when a quarterback does that, you get to hit him.
Free shot.
A free shot, and wow, that's better than sacking him.
On the run now, on the run. Okay.
Struggled to gain yards thus far. P.J. Daniels tries to reverse his field, and the Maryland defense is heard from. A loss of 3 as Leroy Ambush made that tackle.
All right. Yeah, we'll still push it there.
You just keep doing what you've been doing. Quick toss, deflected, and nearly intercepted. DeQuell Jackson had his hands on it. He's already had an interception for touchdown. Did that against Florida State. That's the team he wanted to play for growing up in Largo, Florida. He went down to Tallahassee, played the Noles, came up with the pick that was the lone score of the game. This guy's taken the place of E.J. Henderson and Gary Blackney's defense. And everybody said, well, there will never be another E.J. Henderson, because he was a terrific player in this defense, now in the NFL with the Minnesota Vikings. Jackson's not that kind of player, but he's a very good player in his own right and leading this team in tackles.
It's funny, he's a fan of Florida State because he reminds me of a Florida State kind of linebacker. He's undersized, but he plays with tenacious attitude and great athletic ability.
We talked about Gary Blackney in his great defense he has right now. And guess where he was the head coach for 10 years? Just what I mentioned. Yes. Bowling Green, where we're going.
That's right.
Tomorrow.
That's right.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, will be getting a little MAC love. You've had the trip to Army already this year, and you guys will go before the Bowling Green Northern Illinois game, a huge game in the MAC. And this is a conference that for so many years on the basketball side has been talked about as, oh boy, great basketball teams, upset here and there in the tournament. Always has turned out great coaches, the cradle of coaches, Miami of Ohio, and now getting the recognition for what they've done on the field this year.
Well, I think I live in MAC country, and they kind of have a chip on their shoulder. People don't respect us in basketball. They don't respect us in football. The upsets we've always seen in March Madness. And the last 4 or 5 years in non-conference games, we've seen a lot of upsets. This year, I think it's very appropriate that we have an opportunity to go in. Both teams are in the top 25. It's really exciting. I know Northern Illinois is getting most of the attention, but Bowling Green can play great football.
And I want to mention one thing about the MAC. One of the reasons why they're getting so many of these upsets is they're throwing the football a lot more. It used to be Bo Schembecker and Woody Hayes were the guys that coached the MAC people. And now they got Bobby Pruitt throwing the ball all over the place.
Marshall head coach. Be a fun game. Urban Meyer, who we saw at Utah, did a great job helping build Bowling Green. Terrific quarterback in Josh Harris. Ball in trouble, gets away from Jackson, gets rid of the ball. That's the one thing he does as a true freshman. He lives to see the next day and understands the concept that a punt is a good thing.
How many quarterbacks have we seen this year who are seniors on Thursday night that don't quite understand that concept? They'll scramble, they'll try to make that play, they'll try to make something happen, they'll force it into coverage, interception. Hey, I know that's an incompletion, but like you said, Mike, live to see the next day, send the punt team out, you're okay.
Plus, it saved him 18 yards.
Yeah. DeQuell Jackson was closing in on him. He was fortunate to get away from him.
We got the junior Andy Thompson in punting now. Got a piece of that. Almost ran into his personal protector. Didn't get a great kickoff, and this ball will be down at the 43-yard line. So Tech's having trouble kicking it tonight. Just a 27-yard punt. And hopefully Ray Guy is watching, because this is a wonderful night for the punters. Ralph Friedgen, his team opened the season with an injured quarterback, a lot of hopes. They went to Northern Illinois in DeKalb on a Thursday night to start the season. Saw the game tied at 13. Then this big touchdown in front of Dominique Foxworth put Northern Illinois up 20-13. And then this bizarre play, McBrien's desperation heave off the shoe and deflected to the Drew interception that gave Northern Illinois a landmark win, and they haven't lost since. This down carry, Bruce Perry seeking to get across midfield to pick up 7. Why don't we go online, ESPN.com, dip into our Thursday night mailbag. Mike from Gaithersburg, Maryland. As the rest of the season looked for the Terps, are we, Mike wants to know, in the driver's seat for the Gator Bowl?
I don't know what kind of car he's driving, but they got to beat Virginia, North Carolina State, and go to Wake Forest. I'd say, no, sweetheart, you're not.
Well, I think this is a swing game. If they're able to win tonight, I think they're in a very good position for the Gator Bowl.
I don't think so.
Okay, that's what's up.
Here is Perry, first down and more. Into the secondary, Bruce Perry. Gets to the 31-yard line. So after seeing Perry for the first few drives not be effective, he comes back in and gets 2 big rushes. That one 18 yards. And a good penetration here for Maryland.
Well, this is the best field position that we've seen so far, and they're just going to use their fullback Fiddler to get up in here, pick up a big block in the offensive line. We've talked a lot about Georgia Tech doing a nice job. This time it's a simple isolation. He reads the block by Fiddler. Suter's getting downfield, blocking on the perimeter as a wide receiver, which is so important at that next level. Nice job there of executing a simple run play right up the gut.
Yeah, but they got in the I formation. They couldn't mess around with that one-back offense.
Josh Allen in the game, gives Perry a break. They run Maldonado. Sammy is a junior. He went to the same high school as Ralph Friedgen did. Harrison, New York. He played at Ohio State as well. Actually scored a touchdown his 1 year with the Buckeyes. Transferred to Maryland. Friedgen's had to discipline Maldonado for a couple of games, but he gives him a big power back inside the 20 that Maryland likes to go to.
I was at the University of Maryland with my coach, Tom Nugent, when we recruited Ralph Friedgen as a quarterback linebacker from Harrison High School.
And he played for his dad.
That's right.
Ralph's dad was the head coach at that high school. Second down, Perry back in. Nice, he got low and followed the block of C.J. Brooks. Brooks 74 is the guy who was playing guitar and travels with Trev on the pregame show.
If you watch this one, this is an unbalanced line. An unbalanced line means there's 3 men. See the 3 linemen on the right-hand side? They use an unbalanced line, and they run right at him. And number 44, Fiddler, goes in and makes the ISO. That's a nice little maneuver now by Charlie Taft, the offensive coordinator from Maryland.
Jeff Dugan, a big tight end with a big block. Nice power run there from Maryland.
3rd and 4. McBride runs option, cuts it up. We'll have 4th and a yard and a half. Maryland has a very good field goal kicker. And in a game where points might be at a premium, It might be time to visit Nick Novak, who's been dialed. Let's check how far they have to go here for the first down. It is a full yard, so on comes the junior out of Charlottesville, Virginia.
Well, let's see if this holds true. Remember, I mentioned before, Maryland has scored first in all 7 games this year.
They didn't realize it would take to the 5:30 point in the second quarter.
Yeah, but they've been the first team to score. That's interesting.
Keep that streak alive.
39 yards. He has not missed from 40 this year. Podlish, the punter, is the holder. Let's see, sneaking inside that line, 38 perhaps. Uh-oh, missed it. Missed it to the left. We've been nice. We say no interception all year.
You jinxed them.
You jinxed him.
I read the facts.
It's like saying a no-hitter in the 8th inning. Just say nothing. Let the guy kick.
Glad to have you on board. Another College Football Thursday. This is our state capital tour. We did the regional jet tour in September. Now we're going to the big cities. Columbia, South Carolina a few weeks ago. Raleigh, North Carolina last week. Now we're in the state capital of Georgia, Atlanta. Scoreless game after the missed 39-yard field goal. Tech taking over from its own 22. P.J. Daniels only able to get a yard. Daniels a dozen carries. Hasn't gotten to 50 yards. You got to run it because Reggie Ball, the freshman quarterback, true freshman quarterback, one of a growing list here in 2003 of true freshmen. You have Kevin Cobb running that wide open attack at Houston, and a good start for the Cougars this year. Chris Leak, who has taken over as the starting quarterback at Florida, and now Brady Quinn, who has assumed the reins at Notre Dame and looked good in that victory that they had on ESPN a couple of weeks ago against Pittsburgh, who struggled last week against a better defense in Southern California. Ball keeping, designed run. Reggie got over the line for the first down, delivered the blow, carries Terp defenders to the 38-yard line. He is one of a growing number of true freshman quarterbacks. John Beck at BYU because of injury. Damian Carter stepped in at Southern Miss. Also because of injury, on to Austin Everson at Ohio, and the gentleman we showed you. Ball and Cobb were given the ball at the start of the season, and they have been there right throughout. But that is Georgia Tech, BYU, Florida, Notre Dame. Some high-profile quarterback programs in the past where true freshmen are taking the reins. Daniels strung out and knocked down. Only give him about 2 yards. We'll have second down coming up. Lee, as a coach,
yes,
you never want to do it, but when you do it, what are the keys to maintaining?
Well, first of all, simplifying the offense means that I would give him very few automatics. I would not take away his creativity, his ability to accentuate his strengths. But the second thing is very important. Spread the pressure around. Don't count Kirk on him to win the game. Run it like you said before. Throw a little quick pass. You don't win with the freshman quarterback all by himself.
Right. The other thing is almost every quarterback on that list, with the exception of what we've seen from Georgia Tech and Reggie Ball, and now Chris Leak, what he's been able to do in the last couple weeks with 2 big wins for the Florida Gators. They're all programs trying to create a spark or trying to take a chance, and they're willing to try to, you know, we have nothing else to lose. Let's play the young guy and see what can happen.
Build for down the line.
Build it. Let's build this program and try to build it around the offense around a freshman. You're not seeing teams that are competing for conference championships play a true freshman. I really don't think fans realize how difficult it is for a true freshman to go from high school to college, to walk in and look at 22-year-old men and be the leader of that huddle and make good decisions. Very tough thing.
Ball, he is pressured and sacked that time. Kelvin Ely, the 5th sack of the year for the junior out of New Jersey. Gary Blackney and the defensive line coach, Dave Salazzo, trying to get a timeout there. There's Dave, happy to see Eli come in and make the play for his team. Dave and his wife became parents a week ago. His wife, Ellen, they had a son, Christopher, I believe is the name. Congratulations to Dave.
Also, I congratulate him because, you know, as an Italian, you've got to have a son real quick so they can carry on the last name. That's why I'm so proud that I have Nicholas Lee Corso, my son Dan. I got 5 granddaughters. I got finally one stud.
Finally.
I got one stud.
Come on.
I'm not kidding you.
It's not bad.
The Italians got to have somebody's names taken. That's why I'm so proud of him. He's got a son, Christopher. It's true, Mike.
What did Salazzo tell us? The baby was born a week ago tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, he's been up ever since.
And said, yeah, I was able to see a little bit of the game. So you were able to see a little bit of the game last week? What do you mean?
He said it was on an off week.
How much can we relate to this? Yeah, he said, you know, next thing I got to go on the road, honey. You hold the fort down. I'll be back. Good luck. You got everything? Yes. Everything's going to be okay? He's like, I can finally get a little bit of rest.
Dave said, I got a great night of sleep last night. First good night of sleep.
Am I glad I'm past that age and stage?
Mercy.
Oh, man.
A Maryland timeout taken here. They have 2 remaining. Georgia Tech is struggling with its punts, so perhaps a chance to get some pressure on the punt team. 5th consecutive punt. 18, 13, 36, and 27 the last 4. Thompson able to get rid of that one. Good kick, and the fans are thrilled by that kick. Suter back at the 17. Taken out at the 22. Nice special teams play. John Jackson pushed him out of bounds, but the attaboy for Andy Thompson, whose 4th collegiate punt was his best. It was 53 yards. Nothing in Atlanta.
The verdict is in. Runaway jury is a runaway.
College football Thursday in Atlanta. A very tight defensive struggle from 2 of the top defenses in the ACC. No score as we approach halftime. Georgia Tech and Maryland. You see the total plays here tonight. 62 plays, 204 total yards. We've had 9 punts and 12 first downs. Josh Johnston here in the booth getting us in. Oh, we have a new quarterback. Joel Statham. Comes into the game, listed as the backup punter. Statham comes in the lineup for Maryland at quarterback. Hands to Bruce Perry and gains only a couple of yards. Couple of items here. Orlando Evans, the senior quarterback, was the backup, did not make the trip. Unspecified as to the reasons why. Statham is a freshman from this area, from Chatsworth, Georgia, and he comes in to get a rare quarterback look here thus far this season. Scott McBride sitting on the Maryland bench. 2nd and 9 for Statham. He steps up, throws, and makes a completion for the first time in his career to Bernie Fiddler, the senior. He picks up 5 yards. Statham's listed as the backup punter because during the kind of warm-up pregame, the Friday walkthroughs, he kind of fooled around a little bit, and he was great kicking the ball. And McBrien, who's been battling injuries this year, comes to the bench, and they turn to the kid out of Murray County High School here in suburban Atlanta.
Mike, chances are, third down, quarterback in for his first series. Where's the blitz coming from? Looks like right here.
I'd say everywhere.
The redshirt freshman gets lit up. Here come 5. Underneath throw. First down to Jafar Williams. Caught it at the 34-yard line.
Not so fast, man. That was a great play call, because what they did is they picked up a quick pass. They knew, like you said, Kirk, they were going to come. Nice pass.
Good protection call, too, there by Maryland.
Yep. Statham was not very high on the radar of many schools. Auburn was recruiting him, but so was Wake Forest, Western Michigan, Middle Tennessee, and in state here, Georgia was taking a look at this kid out of Chatsworth. Another completion. This one to Derek Fenner, who's down at the 40-yard line. Scott McBrien sitting on the sideline looking a little groggy. And they've turned to Statham here, who is the backup quarterback for tonight. While we have a timeout before 2nd and 4, let's see what Chris Fowler has cooking at halftime. Hey, Chris.
Well, Mike, while you guys commiserate about sleep deprivation and fatherhood, we'll have the Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report. We had 5 teams, 5 questions.
Yeah, you know, Purdue sitting atop the Big Ten rankings right now. Can they go to the Big House and get a win at Michigan?
I'll let you know if Auburn running back Carnell Cadillac Williams can keep it rolling versus the #1 rush defense in the land, LSU.
It's like Ole Miss and Wazoo and Kansas, so the entire audience should stay awake for our Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report coming up. And Joe, just a few seconds. Back to you guys.
Were we whining? We were praising our wives for having to deal with us during football season, right?
Yeah.
Fowler's beating us up.
Give Fowler, you know what? Give Fowler, give him about a year and a half to 2 years. All right? And then we'll come calling again. Then we'll be throwing it to him, and it'll be a whole different tune back in
Can you see him now getting up and changing the baby?
What?
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? That's why you have a staff. Come on.
He would hire 4 people.
You guys are so in trouble tomorrow. Report for the Maryland sideline. They pass along McBrien groggy after taking a hit. That's why we're seeing Statham in here at quarterback. Guy who led his high school to 19 wins in a 2-year period, more than any other quarterback in school history. In against it now, hit as he threw, incomplete. What a rush from Eric Henderson. Separated Statham from the ball. Are you guys surprised here? 21 seconds, this quarterback in, that you just don't take a knee and get out of here before a big mistake happens?
Well, no, I tell you what, I'm surprised is the kind of plays that you. If I were them, I'd maximum protection and throw it long. Try to get a pass interference, Mike. Not these short little passes.
With 21 seconds, you haven't done anything, even with McRoy. Right? For you to throw it downfield or just run it, kill the clock, and get out of down.
Well, Tech will use a timeout here no matter what happens. Statham's quick toss is complete for a first down to Steve Suter at the 46-yard line. And Maryland's going to take, let's see, well, the chains move here for a first down. I don't know if Maryland's going to take it or just be happy with what's happened. Yep, Maryland will take the timeout. So while we have a second, let's go check in with Dr. Jerry Punch. Doc?
Guys, I got a couple of special guests out here on the sidelines. They don't really need much introduction at all. We're talking about 4-time Winston Cup champion Jeff Gordon and a 3-time winner this year, Jimmy Johnson. And guys, I know that Chan Gailey, aside from his passion for college football, loves NASCAR racing. He's been to Talladega, been to the drivers' meeting with Mike Hilton, and met all of you guys. And Chan says that what these guys do on the football field, the commitment, the devotion, the discipline, is very similar to what you guys do on Sunday in a race car. Is he right?
Well, I tell you what, a lot of people don't realize how much teamwork and how much behind the scenes goes on Sundays and during the week to build and prepare those race cars. But it's definitely a team sport. We got a lot of guys, you know, that really make it happen. And I mean, when you're out there in a race car, that's a machine. You've got have a lot of engineering and a lot of things that goes into it. But it's all about the team. I mean, if you don't have a strong team behind you, you're not going to win.
Jimmy Johnson, Ralph Friedgen, the Maryland head coach, said he wouldn't be where he is if Georgia Tech hadn't given him a chance. Now, the guy I'm just talked to a moment ago, not only is your teammate, he's your car owner. How tough is it for you? He gave you a chance. How tough is it for you to beat him? And you've done it 3 times this year.
It's very tough to beat him. He's one of the best in the sport, and I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity that I've been given to, to race and live my dreams out on Sundays in a Winston Cup car. So I'm very lucky, and at the same time, I hope I'm able to beat him some more and hopefully get a championship and some more race wins this year.
Guys, the Winston Cup points battle, a lot like the Atlantic Coast Conference points battle. You got Florida State at the top of the heap. They control their own destiny, like Matt Kenseth. Can anybody catch Matt?
Well, he's going to have to make a lot of mistakes, and they haven't been making too many. But we got a tight battle trying to get up to second, so we're going to be working hard for that.
Hey, good luck, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Mike?
Thanks, Doc. 2 great guys. Good to visit with them. After the timeout from the 47, Statham is sacked by Eric Henderson. His 7th of the year, and that will bring us to the end of a scoreless first half. Wow, surprised to see a scoreless first half with these teams. Chan Gailey's defense, Ralph Friedgen's defense getting the job done. 0-0.
Figure out how to deal with this pressure. Both defenses are doing a nice job of getting after the quarterbacks.
And Scott McBrien walked groggily off to the locker room, so we'll check him here for the second half. The Pontiac Performance halftime report is next. Scoreless at the half as we send it back to the studio and Chris Fowler.
Mike, thank you. I'll take care of Lee and Kirk on Saturday, by the way. In Jeff Gordon terms, both offenses need a pit stop and to take on some more fuel here.
Well, they need 4 new tires, I think. Everything they need, Chris. And I've actually played in games like this, and I think what happens when you have a quarterback that hasn't even used to playing, you're having turnovers, I think what you need to do is just play the field position right now. I mean, this game's going to come down to a field goal, maybe 2 field goal. Final score is going to be 6-0. Don't do anything stupid. Don't open up the offense. It's okay to punt, play field position, and hope you get a chance to kick a field goal to win it.
I think for Georgia Tech, what they have to do in this game is continue to chip away with a run with P.J. Daniels. They've had some success running the ball. They've already tried to go over the top with play-action passes down the field. I think you'll see that in the second half. If they connect with just one of those, that could be the game winner. All
right, coming up on our Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report, we'll look ahead at the big games in the SEC and in the Big Ten. Purdue arrives in the Big House with some confidence, but they haven't won there since '66. And what will happen when Auburn's Cadillac collides head-on with the #1 rushing defense of the country? 5 teams, 5 questions, straight ahead. Almost 31,000 to be voted on ESPN.com. Our winner is Oklahoma, and a team with a loss will play the national title game.
It's obvious. B was the only choice, Chris.
Huh? 1 in 5 think everybody's going to have a loss. Interesting. Back to Mike and the gang for the second half.
It is interesting. A lot of football left to be played. Glad you're on board here for College Football Thursday, presented by Panasonic. Quarter number 3, no score. First time Georgia Tech's had a scoreless opening half in more than a decade. Maryland has quarterback issues. Their starter, Scott McBrien, injured after going 4 of 11 in the opening half. It looks like Joel Statham, the redshirt freshman, seeing his first action, may have to go the rest of the way. We'll check with Jerry Punch in a minute. First, a Georgia Tech kickoff. We haven't seen this yet tonight. Dan Burnett, nice long kickoff, back to Steve Suter from 2 yards deep. Suter out to the 26. Statham comes out at quarterback, and let's go check in with Jerry.
Guys, talked to Ralph Friedgen at halftime, and the word on Scott McBrien is not good right now. He is right now not available in the second half. I talked to Sandy Worth, the trainer. McBrien still a little bit groggy. That means the freshman Joel Statham will go in the second half. I asked Ralph Friedgen, how will that impact what you try to do offensively? He said, we really have to narrow down our scope. He's a very young quarterback with not a lot of experience, but we've got to change some blocking schemes up front to get some better protection and to try to run the football. Guys?
Okay, Don, thank you. So Statham, center stage in a big game from Maryland. A lot of Bruce Perry. I think Tech knows that too. Pickup of 1, 2nd and 9. Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit. Let's look at the numbers through the first 30 minutes. And when you have no points, you have no offense. And you see it there.
Both teams want to run the football. And Georgia Tech's had a little bit more success controlling the line of scrimmage, but as you could see, if you can't run the ball against these defenses, it makes it very tough. And what's ironic there is Ralph Regent told Doc about running, but they're going to have to throw to take some of the pressure off that running game in the second half.
Perry left side. Brought down by Daryl Smith. Pick up a 6 there. We'll have 3rd and about 3 coming up.
Now, if I was the new quarterback in there, I'd want my coach to let some people run the football, make me throw short passes, because, you know, no matter how Statham has been there, he doesn't get a lot of reps during the week. So therefore, his offense, as Ralph said, is now constricted some. But I would definitely run the football more with Statham as quarterback than I did with McBrien.
And also the 3-step drops and from the shotgun, that means just get the ball and let it go and try to find a soft corner, because you know Georgia Tech's going to put pressure on you.
From the 32, zone blitz, Statham's tagged, tries to throw it away, and completed it to Suter. First down at the 41. Don't throw it, don't throw it. Look, good pass.
And
nice job.
And that's one of those passes, Kirk, we put it in at halftime.
That's right.
Let them all in, think you're going to hit the quarterback, and then throw it up. Oh, you talk about luck.
Is this the way you draw it up?
This is just
not
unbelievable luck. Unbelievable luck.
With the zone blitz, the pressure got to him again. He was very fortunate to hold on. And we're kidding about it, but give Suter a lot of credit for not giving up on his route and getting into a pocket there where Statham just heaved it, and he came up with a big catch.
From the 40, 2 tight ends. Statham shows a little option. Tagged by Daryl Smith. Pick up of just a couple of yards. Daryl Smith and Kearon Fox, better known as Key Fox. 2 guys from Georgia. Daryl Smith, although he was demonstrative there, he's the quieter guy. Key Fox is the guy who lives the life and kind of the more flamboyant of the two. They've been there for 4 years next to each other, 51 and 54 in the black, gold, and white of the home team.
We'll miss these guys in college football, and John Tenuta says it's pretty simple. I built my defense around pressure and built it to the strength, and that's my linebackers, Key Fox and Daryl Smith.
Oh, this has been intercepted. It hit Jonathan Cox in the left shoulder pad. And Jonathan Cox doesn't have an interception opportunity that easy in warm-ups when the coach is throwing it to the DBs just to get their hands sharp.
I think Jonathan Cox was shocked that that ball got to him in such a hurry. I mean, he's probably in all his years of playing football has never had an opportunity where a ball was coming to him and it was that simple.
With all of this pressure put on Statham, I would throw some screens. Get the pressure off of the guy. Draws and screens.
Beating the play clock. Statham stands tall. Incomplete. They try to jump that one. Reuben Houston on the intended pass for JoJo Walker. Punt coming up here tonight, and the coaches on the Maryland side have got a really interesting job here over there. This Statham, he hasn't seen any of this stuff. He's playing a really good defense, and they're just going to have to coach him through every step of the way here in this final half. Our 10th punt of the night. Potlish kicks. Jonathan Smith hit at the 19, perfectly timed by Madu Williams. Last year, that would have been a violation of the halo zone. That rule taken out of the rule book. They didn't interfere with the opportunity to catch it. Perfect play by Williams.
Good hustle downfield by Williams, and he timed it up perfectly and aware of the new rule, gives him time, let him make the catch, and then once he makes the catch, make the big hit.
And now Madu Williams is an NFL prospect, and that right there helps him make a football team, because they'll see in the National Football League on Sunday he can play special teams.
Remember Bobby Taylor years ago coming out of Notre Dame? Long athlete, long and lean, very athletic, the ability to play safety and corner. That's what Madu Williams has.
Reggie Ball completes it to Jonathan Smith. That was the first snap inside the 20 either way. Tech starting from inside its own 20 there. So, guys, on this other side, Statham's now on the phone. What can the coaches be telling this guy who has not seen the light of day this year and now is thrown into a very tough spot?
Well, we've talked about true freshman Reggie Ball and simplifying things for him against a complex defense. Well, that's what you're going to have now with Charlie Taft. He's going to have to simplify things, make sure the pass protection is very simple. Don't put that on the quarterback to check at the line. pull back, streamline the package, try to get down to some basics. But I think Stidham's going to have to hit some passes for Maryland to do anything on offense in the second half.
P.J. Daniels carries and gains a couple of yards there. They had the opportunity at halftime to talk to him as well about Lee, the things that they wanted to do, as Ralph Friedgen told Jerry, simplify that package to what Stidham knows and does best.
Well, I said if I was a quarterback coach at Maryland, the first thing I would do is I'd make sure, look, we got to run the ball directly at that Georgia Tech if I was Ralph, because they got to throw some screens and jaws. With a new quarterback, you can't expect him to beat a defense like Georgia Tech. You must use all of your weapons.
And here's Reggie Ball, the experienced veteran of 7.5 games, facing third and a couple to the tight end Fauci. First down out to the 35. So they keep the drive alive with a 9-yard pickup. When they rebuilt this stadium and expanded it to 55,000, John Paul Fauci, the tight end, was involved. It's part of his major. He worked on a construction company back with his parents back home in the New York area. His building construction major came in handy in the family construction business. He was a paper pusher, as he said. But a paper pusher knew how to do it because he was involved in the family business at home, and a real pleasure to be a part of this stadium, which actually, when it was built in 1913, was constructed in part by the students. Reggie for the home run ball. Nate Curry not open. Nobody open. Incomplete.
That was one of those long passes for the alumni. They say, man, you guys throw the ball deep. We'll try on long passes. That was an alumni pass. It was nowhere near anything.
Do you believe in what people talk about, Lee, and it's good to do once a quarter just to loosen up the defense, make them think behind themselves?
Yes. What you do is you get the defense to go back so you can throw the ball in front of those guys and underneath. And I think Chan Gailey has done a nice job of mixing up his calls here, but he has to realize that Reggie Ball is not going to win this game by himself. He's got to get the ball into Smith and in Daniels' hands.
2nd and 10 throw. Maryland breaks through with pressure. Ball gets rid of it. Incomplete. Once you get out of that tackle box where the tackles line up, it is free game. You can throw it away as long as it crosses the line of scrimmage.
The other thing is when you have two defenses that are dominating, it's the same thing for Maryland on the other side. When they're on offense, just take a shot or two once in a while just to try to keep the defense honest and prevent them from just pinning their ears and attacking an offense that is struggling. Just to let them know, hey, you know, don't commit too much because we have the ability to go over the top and try to keep you honest. That's all they're doing. They've had a lot of success out in the flat, especially on 3rd down to Fauci. And here on 3rd and 10, Maryland and Gary Blackney will put a lot of pressure on Reggie Ball.
Play clock running down. 4 in the pattern. Ball throw to Jonathan Smith. Can he make a play? He's right at the line. Dominic Foxworth came up with a big hit there. It is touching the line. It looks like it's going to be really close to a first down.
That is close. I'm going to say...
Measure.
He's going to measure. I'm going to say it's short. Head of the ball. It's right in front of us. We got to be able to tell that. I say the head of the ball. What do you got?
Short.
Yeah, short.
Yeah. Where the mark is, see, it's
the head of the ball.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
Come on,
7 chain links.
There it is.
1, 2, 3. Move your foot.
You know, what would you guys do?
3.5.
What do you think? 5. You going to go for it? Quickly. It's too late.
No,
you don't go
got to
for
punt it. I'm in my own territory. It's a field position game.
By the time it was timeout, you got to punt the ball. The reason is they got a new quarterback in. If they had, I wouldn't do it if they had McRyan in there, but they got a new quarterback. Punt the ball, make them make a mistake. This is like one of those old-timey games.
They kick quickly. Andy Thompson with the punt. Suter trying to flip the field with a return. He is hemmed in and brought down. Contained coverage by Jonathan Jackson for the 2nd time. 37-yard kick. No return. It's like old-time game.
It's 1950 snowball without the snow.
Stidham coming back up. Maybe we can get somebody to lay down a bunt and steal a base. Get something on the board here.
Get in a scoring position.
Fearing the turtle thus far. Scoreless in the 3rd. Lee, let's check your Home Depot coaching adjustments.
Notice it's sponsored by Home Depot. I would run straight at that Georgia Tech defense and throw screens and draws because I got a new quarterback. And Georgia Tech needs to get outside with ball, either on bootlegs or run the ball to the outside. The reason why is Maryland is extremely strong up the middle. I would not let the quarterback beat me in this ball game if I was Maryland.
Joel Statham, the quarterback, play action. He rolls out. He's hit from behind. Ball on the ground, scooped up by Maryland, I believe.
I say nothing.
They're going to umpire him. Terps keep it. Lou Lombardo, the backup right tackle, scooped up. The hit made by Eric Henderson again. Let's go down and check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Guys, Scott McBrien is still in the Maryland locker room, and where he remains as halftime. Mike Iorio, the primary care doctor, is in there evaluating him. He is clearing, as we are being told. They are keeping Ralph Friedgen appraised of what's happening. He is getting clearer and clearer, but the question is a judgment call. How clear is clear enough to come back out and come in this football game?
Don't want to take a chance with something like that. Here's the screen, coach, that you called for. On the move, Josh Allen, a lot of room, first down to the 37-yard line. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Screens, draws, and run straight at them because Joel Statham hasn't had enough practice with Ralph Friedgen. Now, here's a nice little screen. Invite him in. They've been trying to knock the heck out of him anyhow. Invite him in and run a screen. Kirk, whenever you know this, when you have a new quarterback and hasn't had the practice, that's the biggest problem. He hasn't had time to practice.
Yeah, that and the pressure of this defense, it's good to just find a couple easy throws to try to get him into sync a little bit. Plus, it slows down Georgia Tech's defense.
After a pickup of 22, the longest gain of the night. Either team. From the 37 option. Hit as he pitched. Allen hit as he caught. Jarris Wilkinson out of Skyline High School in Oakland started the mess. Keith Fox and Travis Parker were there to close the deal. Parker's having a very good game. Here's Wilkinson, his pressure early on. Got the whole thing going for the deal.
Well, one thing that Georgia Tech is doing right now, because Scott McBrien is not in the game, the threat of that passing game is not in the game, is they're committing. I mean, they're putting a lot of people up at the line of scrimmage, walking the safeties up on 1st and 10. Especially on 1st and 10, because Maryland has a tendency to want to run the football on 1st and 10.
Trips to the left out of the shotgun. Long throw, nearly intercepted. It's incomplete. Perhaps Dennis Davis hurt himself a little bit. He's okay.
This is John Tenuta's favorite all-time defense. It's called the dollar defense. John has 3 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 6 defensive backs. And he told us that this is his favorite defense because he got everybody covered. There's the 3 linemen, and they come in, they do a little twist, and boom, to the outside. John Tenuta is a brilliant defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and when he has personnel to work with, obviously it makes him that much better. And I think these players really understand his scheme and what he's trying to do. And here's the confusion now for Statham to deal with the pressure. And who's going to come?
The 5 closest come this time. That pass is caught. A terrific catch by Derek Fenner. Dozen yards, first down. I know those are the balls you have to catch, but considering the pressure, the quarterback knew. Really nice play there.
When you're bringing a blitz and a zone blitz, the one thing you have to be careful of is having a soft corner. This is one thing that has hurt them. Look at the cushion. He's able to get to the outside and pick up a first down. Nice throw by Statham to bring it to the outside, right only where his receiver could make that catch.
Approaching midfield, halfway through, quarter number 3. Josh Allen is stopped up after a gain of about a yard. Josh Allen became the man who was turned to after Bruce Perry's injury plague in 2002. You see the teams tonight unable to move it inside the opponent's 20. As a matter of fact, both teams have only snapped it from their own 20 twice inside their own 20 with a long field to go. So that's this game has been played right in front of us here. 60 yards between the 20. You talk about a game between the 20s. This is one of the all-timers. 2 and 10, the down and distance. Inside, it's handed off to Allen. Can he get the block on the outside? No. Lucky not to get a holding flag there. Loss of 2. Travis Parker once again. Keith Fox with the push.
Keith Fox hasn't made a lot of plays tonight, but here, and he's not going to make the tackle here. But what you're going to love to see is he's right on the edge, reading the play. He knows he's got to get to the outside. He's got contained. He forces Allen to cut it back to the inside where the Georgia Tech defenders are. A very nice play there by Keith Fox, showing his athletic ability.
3rd and 12. These fans have gotten behind the defensive Tech here tonight. Pressure off the corner, picked up. Statham for Suter, who broke free. Oh, he held on. A terrific catch for Steve Suter, who is shaken up on the play. 31 yards. How did he hang on to that? Suter, who has been banged up during the season. What a catch by Suter. The blitz pickup by Josh Allen. Fans react to the hit you're about to see.
Pick up the blitz. This is the danger of being in a zone blitz. They lost Suter behind the coverage, but because Statham zeroed in the whole way on Suter, it allowed Landry to come over and have the big hit on Steve Suter.
Great concentration on Suter. But that play would have never happened unless number 33, Josh Allen, didn't pick up the linebacker blitz. And that was a terrific play by Josh Allen to pick up that linebacker. And the reason why I say that is that's one of the weaknesses of most college running backs, is they don't block very well on the blitz.
We'll step out as they look at Suter, who made that great catch, was fully exposed, took a shot in the midsection. Be right back.
ESPN's College Football Thursday, brought to you by Saturn, makers of the highly adaptable View, redesigned L Series, and the fun-to-drive Ion. And by Miller High Life, to live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the highlight.
Back in Atlanta, glad to tell you that Steve Suter walked off under his own power. Hopefully nothing more than the wind knocked out of him on that fierce hit by DeJuan Landry. Driving Maryland behind freshman quarterback Joel Statham. Stopped at the 21 is Bruce Perry by Landry, who made the big hit a moment ago. And Suter, who was injured on the last play, comes back in for Maryland. And it's great to see.
Suter is a player who's always been known for his ability on special teams to return punts and kicks. And last year, a slot player, they moved him to the outside to get him more involved. And he shows great toughness and concentration there. He's a guy with 4.3 speed. Great acceleration, great speed to get upfield.
Statham doing a nice job on this drive, guys. Gives it to Perry. They're in the red zone, pounding forward to the 16-yard line, pickup of 5. Nobody is better in the ACC in the red zone than Maryland. Matter of fact, you can't find a team better in the red zone than Maryland. 26th trip into the red zone now. First 25 scores, 17 touchdowns.
And I used to bring in Sammy Maldonado because he weighs 233 pounds. And the tape we've seen, he comes in inside of 20 and runs right at him.
3rd and 4. Want to be careful here. You do have a good field goal kicker, even though Novak missed earlier. Some near interceptions by Statham on this drive. Quarterback draw. He is stopped for a loss of a yard by Eric Henderson, who, along with Travis Parker, those two are leading this Tech defense from the front line. Field goal time coming up.
Henderson, this is about John Tenuti. He doesn't have great size up front, so he likes to move people. Henderson's going to come right around and make the play against the quarterback. It's just a little stunt from the inside to the outside to the inside, and it freed Henderson up to make the play on Statham.
35-yard field goal for Novak. Missed from 39. His first miss from inside of 40 this year. Leaking, but he sneaks it through. And after 41 minutes and 46 seconds, we have points. 3-0 Maryland. Let's see if Tech can answer. That's the first scoring drive led by Joel Statham, the redshirt freshman quarterback from down here in the Atlanta metro area, playing his first big action against Georgia Tech. Led a nice drive, guys.
Oh, he was 3 of 4 for 66 yards on that drive, and that is big for Statham. Not to mention, they converted twice on 3rd down. So some big plays there, and maybe Statham's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable after a few series.
So with those points, we'll avoid the first scoreless tie in 50 years for Georgia Tech and 56 years for Maryland. Time for a kickoff for the Terps. Mick Novak had a touchback earlier. Kenny Scott and Dennis Davis back to receive. This is returnable. See who runs up and gets it. It will be Kenny Scott. There's a little bit of an opening. Pulled down as he was trying to break free. Good play by Derek Fenner to prevent a big game. And now back comes the true freshman quarterback, Reggie Ball, who's put up good stats the last couple of games, guys, but is struggling against this Maryland defense thus far tonight, Lee.
Well, the reason he's struggling is they're doing too much offense based on him doing it by himself. He's got to get to the corners. He's got to bring everybody into the ball game. Daniels, Curry, Smith.
8 at the line there. Quick throw to Smith. Couldn't hang on. And incomplete.
The other thing that's happening is Maryland's defense is putting more pressure on this Georgia Tech offense than anything they've seen in their 5-game winning streak.
Let's go visit with Dr. Jerry Punch.
And Herbie, you're exactly right. That's what Chan Gailey discussed at halftime in the Georgia Tech locker room. He talked about they've made some adjustments up front. They've got to get some protection for Reggie Ball. He was pleased with Reggie's effort and physical ability and athletic ability, but that man right there made some significant adjustments. We've got to protect Reggie to get our passing game going, the quick passing game, and try to protect him against that guy right there who's been very aggressive defensively up front for Maryland.
Gary Blackney, 10 years the Bowling Green coach. Ball on the run. Good speed shown there by Andrew Smith, senior out of the Maryland suburb of Fort Meade, able to pull him down. We'll have 3rd down coming up. I mentioned Gary Blackney, guys, 10 years the Bowling Green head coach, 60 wins. Just one of the good people to be around in college football over time.
Love his attitude. He is we keep talking about these defenses, and both defenses kind of reflect the personalities of their coaches. Gary Blackney has been an outstanding coach his entire career, every stop. Talk to anybody who's ever played for him, and they talk about his love and passion for the game.
Ball taking off, guys, green grass, but couldn't get there. A very good play by Sean Merriman, number 45. Mentioned him at the beginning, 6 sacks. He's emerged really from very low expectations this year to be a big sack man. He's welcomed by Dave Salazzo, his D-line coach, as he comes over.
Mike, all you have to say about Merriman, 6'4", 255, 41.5-inch vertical. I think that tells you about his athletic ability and what he can do.
Andy Thompson, who's done a better job punting, gets away a 39-yarder. Shooter on the run. Worked the sideline as much as he could, and he's out of bounds at the 27. Kick of 39, return of 6. Those of you just tuning over here at the top of the hour, glad you've joined us from the middle of the tall buildings in Atlanta, Georgia. Mike Lee, Kirk, and Doc on the edge of the Georgia Tech campus. 3-0 Maryland leads. The importance of this game, Terps trying to remain the only one-loss team in the ACC. Georgia Tech in there. A half dozen teams have 2 losses on this season. If Tech rallies to win and Florida State wins Saturday, the Seminoles will clinch a tie for the ACC title before Halloween. Long ball thrown by Statham for Fenner. It is incomplete. If you're just joining us, we have 2 freshman quarterbacks going up against 2 of the best defenses in this conference. Reggie Ball is the true freshman for Georgia Tech. This man, Joel Statham, has come in. He's from the Atlanta area, redshirt freshman, first action he's seen. And the only reason that Ball is seeing another freshman on the field is because Scott McBrien, the senior lefty starter for Maryland, injured, groggy in the first half, has not been medically cleared to come back and play here tonight against this very good Tech defense. Second and 10. Here is Bruce Perry. First down to the 41-yard line.
Run right at Georgia Tech in the passing formation. Bruce Perry's got some quickness, and what it does, Statham gives some pressure off him, Kirk. You got to give the ball straight at, because Georgia Tech can fly in directions.
And they love to blitz from the outside. They're blitzing the defensive ends and the outside linebackers. Just enough of a block on the inside, and they ripped it. Quick hitter right up the middle.
Perry tries to work under the left side there. His offensive lineman, Stephen Heyer, couldn't get out and clear a lane for him. He gains just a couple. Ralph Friedgen's offense really kicked in the last 5 games. Charlie Taft, the offensive coordinator, really able to produce very well. Not the same numbers tonight, but they're playing a good defense. Those numbers came against the Citadel. West Virginia does have a good defense, but weren't playing that well at that game. At Eastern Michigan, Clemson last week, a 33-20 win over Duke. Actually, a week ago Saturday, both teams were off this past Saturday. Play action, Statham got a block from Perry. Only for a moment, lost the ball. It's still free, and it's in the air. Picked up and scooped by Jonathan Cox. Georgia Tech has it at the Maryland 18. Nobody could gain control of a bouncing football, and the senior Cox, who should have had an interception earlier this quarter, comes up with a huge turnover.
We just talked about all the pressure Georgia Tech is putting on is from the outside. They're putting their linebackers out on the edges and attacking. And if you're not going to take advantage of being able to get up the middle, you're going to put that quarterback back there. I want you to watch the athleticism and strength of Fox. He goes right through Perry and has the presence of mind to knock the ball loose, and now it's backyard football. Who wants it? Who's going to come up with it? Finally, they pick it up with Jonathan Cox. Great field position for the Yellow Jackets.
First snap in the red zone tonight. Ball keeps it, tries to use his speed, turns it up. A lot of work. Gain of 4. It's certainly an enthused Georgia Tech crew here as they are in position for a tying field goal or perhaps a go-ahead score.
To attack the Maryland defense, I recommend it strongly. They attack the corners with the bootlegs or rollouts because they're so strong in the middle. Now you watch Reggie Ball right here. He fakes it and comes to the outside. And the reason why this is good, if they're blitzing you in the middle, they can't be blitzing you on the outside. Both. Good play call that time by Chan Gailey.
Nate Perry in motion. 2nd and 6. The carry for P.J. Daniels. Still going inside the 10. Near a first down at the 7. Here at the end of quarter number 3. They'll mark them down. They're going to have to measure for a first down first before you take it down for the 4th quarter, Reg. So hang on a sec.
Hey, that's a true freshman dancing, holding the forearm.
They come out and get the measurement here. The quarter is over. Right laying on the yellow line. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Yellow Jackets when we flip the field for the final 15 minutes. Maryland got on the board with a field goal, but the quarterback Statham couldn't hang on. The pressure from Ke'Aaron Fox, one of the senior linebackers, trying to keep Georgia Tech close, and one of the wilder scrambles you'll ever see for a fumble. Nobody stopped hustling, especially Jonathan Cox. His Johnny-on-the-spot play could lead to Tech's go-ahead score. You'll see when we come back. Off we go to the 4th quarter on College Football Thursday, presented by Panasonic. Strange when the quarter is more than the total of points. Quarter 4, total 3. But an exciting game nonetheless. It is 1st and goal for Georgia Tech, looking for the go-ahead score. Reggie Ball, timing toss, Nate Perry, incomplete. Blanketed by Jerome Cox. 2nd down coming up.
That ball's thrown on the money. It is a touchdown. Cox got lost in coverage. He couldn't even find the ball.
You know, I know this is the modern day of football, but I'll tell you one thing. Once you throw the ball on 1st down like that, now you got to throw it 2nd, and then you got to throw it 3rd. My theory was, let's find out how tough they are. Bang it in there, bang it in there, bang it in there, kick a field goal.
Here's a good time to get Reggie Ball out in the corner to give him that run-throw option. try to take advantage of his multiple capabilities.
Not a good TD scoring group in the zone. Quarterback draw. Ball up the middle to the 5 and the 4. So now they'll have 3rd and goal as that tight end in motion trying to lead the way for the true freshman quarterback. Chan Gailey, a Georgian, he said, you know, if the job was at some other state tech, he wouldn't have taken it. But he's from Americus, Georgia, where Dan Reeves is from as well. Loves the intangibles about college football. Wasn't really seeking coming back to college football, but this kind of atmosphere, low-scoring game on campus, students into it. He's really fallen in love again with what college football is all about after his NFL stay. Trying to watch his team take the lead. It is Ball. Hit as he threw. Touchdown! Jonathan Smith. Georgia Tech leads. Just sneaks it in. A penalty marker is down right at the spot of the kick. Hal Higgins, the punter who was pulled, did a great job on that bad snap. A 5-yard roughing the kicker, which is running into the kicker. Not a personal foul, so not assessed on the kickoff. Extra point good, and it's 7-3. The touchdown catch was Jonathan Smith. But remember we talked to Joe Hamilton about a little guy? Well, Reggie Ball's not 6 feet. He's small. But look at him hang in the pocket as DeQuell Jackson knocked him down. And his receiver out of a town with one caution light in southern Georgia, Argyle, Georgia, Jonathan Smith, the pride of Argyle, puts Tech on top. A virtual flood of offense. Back-to-back possessions with points. Maryland 3, Reggie Ball and Georgia Tech respond with 7, in large part because of the turnover.
Well, I think this is why the Georgia Tech offensive players respond to Reggie Ball. He knows what's coming, still sits in there and finds the open receiver, but is focused downfield to be able to do that. That's why every player you talk to has such admiration for Reggie Ball, whether he's a true freshman or a 5th-year senior. It takes a lot of courage to sit in there and make that throw. Nice play.
David Jordan comes in to kick off here. Short and returnable for Suter from the 3. Hits it hard when he returns, doesn't he? Out to the 26-yard line.
Let me show you why Jonathan Smith was so wide open. They put a man in motion and they flooded it. Watch, all 3 of those receivers will do crossing patterns, and when they do that, Jonathan Smith, the inside receiver, will sneak over to the inside, and he's wide open. Why is he wide open? Because they crossed patterns, and the Maryland defense got confused. Perfect pass pattern drawn up there by Chan Gailey.
Joel Statham, the redshirt freshman quarterback, in for Maryland for the injured Scott McBride. Runs it on first down. 5-yard pickup for Sammy Maldonado, the junior out of Harrison, New York. Boy, Kirk, you made a good point on that touchdown during the break. DeQuell Jackson left his feet, went right at Reggie Ball, and to hang in there is one thing, but the point you made as a quarterback who's seen that coming, it's got to be hard when you know you're going to get a lick up in the head.
Well, yeah, you know it's coming, and you also know you have an open receiver, so you got to do what you got to do. But for a young guy like that to sit in there, that's why offensive linemen, the first guys to help him up, because they appreciate that.
Maldonado up the middle. That's why they call him Sammy the Bull. Bulls his way to the 43, a 26-yard run. That's what his teammates call him. Sammy the Bull Maldonado.
Sammy the Bull scored a touchdown his freshman year when Ohio State played Penn State. He ran in for a 7-yard touchdown run for the Buckeyes. 233 pounds from Harrison, New York. This is the kind of game you use him because you can bang right at that Georgia Tech defense.
Size his career long run.
Sammy Maldonado is a back that could be playing quite a bit still if he were playing at Ohio State, a phenomenal talent.
Put it in the hands of JoJo Walker on the reverse. Gets across the 40. A pickup of about 4 yards. Well, a college football weekend. The Guys Love College game day built by the Home Depot at the Bowling Green Northern Illinois game. And at nighttime, the SEC takes center stage. Eli Manning and Ole Miss take on Arkansas, trying to pick up the pieces. And a Tigers. Auburn and LSU on ESPN at 7:45 Eastern. Also available on ESPN HD. Night game at LSU. Say no more.
Say no more.
See you Saturday night. 2nd and 6 for Joel Statham in Maryland. Hit, and the pass was knocked down by Jarris Wilkinson. Good job by Wilkinson. Well, rarely do you get a poll released on a Thursday, but here's our updated top 5, taking into account West Virginia's win over Virginia Tech last night, guys.
You and I figured that USC, Georgia, pretty close. I got Washington State.
And I got Purdue at number 5.
That's good. Your Purdue play team, my Michigan.
Purdue plays your Michigan team this weekend. And Washington State, USC next weekend. Should be a great one.
If they win against Oregon State and Washington.
Right.
But they're going to play. It's just a question.
Yeah, they still play.
3rd and 6. Statham's throw is incomplete.
They're going to play, but it might not mean nothing. Hello.
Dan Melendez, a sophomore, has only caught 4 balls on the year.
Nothing.
Was the intended receiver. Now, guys, from here, it's a 55-yard field goal. 56. Novak's got that kind of leg, but he struggled earlier. Ralph's just going to punt it in a game like this.
The field position game, some young quarterbacks that are struggling at times. Definitely want to play field position. So much time left in this game.
Because remember, Maryland's defense didn't allow a long drive.
Right.
It was the turnover that gave them inside the zone.
This reminds me of a game like Jim Tatum of Maryland would play Bobby Dodd.
Coaches,
the old-time AARP guys that are gone.
Podlish with the punt. This is going to be inside the 10 and the 5. 6th time Podlish has pushed him back. 35-yard kick.
Nice job there. That looks like a simple play. How many times do you see a guy botch that? Good hustle to get downfield.
ESPN's College Football Thursday, presented by Panasonic DVD Recorder. Watch whatever, whenever you want. Panasonic, ideas for life. And in part by Audi. In technology, performance, and design, our goal remains constant. Never follow.
It's a unique place for football, Georgia Tech. It's not a football factory. You really have to recruit the top combination of athletes and academics because of the academic requirements. And Chan Gailey faced some hardships this year as 10 players were lost for academic reasons in the summer. So he's dealing with a less than full crew here this year. P.J. Daniels carries, no gain. DeQuell Jackson, the big hit on Reggie Ball earlier.
Great technique there.
Oh, could you see that technique? Watch DeQuell Jackson. He comes up, squats, drops his butt, and explodes. Now watch, see it, watch it. Now watch it come in 52. Now drop your butt, pop! Ooh!
Nice.
Oh, is that nice or what? No, he should be at Florida State.
He looks like a Florida State linebacker.
I'm telling you. I don't know what the nose could use him.
That's nice.
I love him.
Big passes, guys in motion. No, what are coaches getting happy about? Drop your butt, drive through.
I wish we had him on camera doing that.
No, it was okay. You know, 2nd down. They use the receiver motion for a decoy. Daniels gets nothing there.
Tough sledding in the middle there.
Andrew Henley, senior linebacker, in there as well. Leroy Ambush, Leon Joe, and DeQuell Jackson. The senior Henley doesn't get to play very often, or as often as he would. In here in this big drive as they try to get Georgia Tech off the field quickly.
See where they come with a blitz here. You know it's coming. It's just a matter, are they going to blitz with the linebackers? Are they going to wait to send Madu Williams late? They've done that a couple times too, the free safety.
Ball will throw, complete. Nate Curry, 1st down. Right in front of Karoom Cox.
You know what that reminded me of? Purdue. Purdue threw 15 of those passes against Wisconsin.
31. I thought 31 against Wisconsin.
That was a great call. Watch, boom, and the terrific hands by Nate Curry. But that's Purdue's favorite play.
Oh, Especially when you sit back 31 times and give them the underneath throw.
I'm telling you.
You know, that time Reggie Ball showed his arm strength. He dropped back, hesitated, threw off his back foot, and just, that was all arm.
Gutsy throw. Yeah. A gutsy play call, too.
Yeah, play call, too, Mike.
Approaching the 10-minute mark, final quarter. A run with Chris Woods, sophomore from College Park, Georgia. Only 4 carries all year. Comes in here inside the 20. Let's take a peek at the game track. See what's happened tonight. We've had some offense in this second half. Reggie Ball, touchdown pass to Jonathan Smith. 100 total yards. There he hung in there to make the throw. Meantime, Scott McBrien, the Maryland quarterback, was injured. Took a shot, perhaps on that play, by DeJuan Landry. Out of the game, so they've turned to Joel Statham, the redshirt freshman. P.J. Daniels shaken up on the play 2 snaps ago. That's why we have Chris Woods in the lineup for Tech. He's a decoy. Ball throws to Fasci, the tight end, to the 25. First down. Fasci has made some big receptions here tonight. 10 yards there.
This time Merriman has to make a decision on what to do. He's holding on to Fasci right here. He's going to hold on to him and then eventually release him. And when he releases him, Ball just says, that's what I needed. And they've had a lot of success throwing to Fasci in the flat. And I'll tell you what, guys, for 270 pounds, he's got some quickness.
And that's that bootleg action that I like with him because, you know, Ball's not real tall, and you can see a lot better when you run those bootlegs like that.
Play clock is running down. They were trying to get personnel in there. Here is Woods, the running back, who gains a couple. Woods, a transfer from Morris Brown, a school here in the Georgia area that discontinued football. Transferred immediately 1AA to 1A.
Reggie Ball coming into this game the last 2 games has played marvelously, making better decisions. But I think tonight, you got to give Maryland's defense a lot of credit because of the harassment. They've put a lot of different schemes together. They put a lot of pressure on him. And it seems like even when he's had success tonight, he's been throwing off his back foot because of the pressure they've been able to put on him.
Right here, play came in late. They were bringing in personnel because that running back injury. Calm enough to know we're not going to screw up down here and call timeout.
Another good decision.
All the stuff you're talking about. True freshman who gets it in terms of being a quarterback. Back in Atlanta, Georgia Tech leading Maryland 7-3. This very low-scoring college football Thursday. Important ACC game. Tech trying to hang with 2 losses and pin a second loss on Maryland. After the timeout, P.J. Daniels returns at tailback. They did get the offside. The center's in control, and Hugh Riley, who has taken every snap at center this year for Georgia Tech, saw one of the tackles come into the neutral zone, snapped it, and they gained 5.
He looked like a player.
He's perfect.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat the next.
You know, if he weren't a center, with that look, he'd have to play hockey. He sees starts, snap.
Perfect.
That's not even on the snap. Better, as a quarterback, you got to keep your hands ready because that ball is coming up at any point. But look at that. Look at that. Look at this guy. Watch him get a shot in his face. Just tough.
33 straight starts.
Shaves twice a day. He's ready.
Ball, quick toss behind Smith and incomplete. Just came out a little bit hot. That a mistake by Ball, and certainly he's going to make physical mistakes, but so often, Kirk, it's the mental mistakes that a quarterback makes, and that's why this true freshman has impressed people around here and impressed us tonight. Go back to that timeout just a couple of plays ago.
For 3.5 quarters tonight, seeing him in person, just controlling the game and making good decisions. You're right, Mike. I think that's so important to understand. He's going to miss some throws. He's going to mess up physically, but the play clock's down at 8, 7. We see so many quarterbacks who are veterans that don't understand the importance. He's down to 3, too. He knows that he's not going to be able to get this playoff, and he's able to come back there and get the timeout, which was important to give them a chance to execute here to get the first down.
And here the clock runs down, and we'll get a delay of game. Although the Georgia Tech sideline is saying, guys, we got it off in time.
You jinxed him.
Well, that's the third time. That's the hat trick.
It's the trifecta now.
Right.
We've got across the board.
That's right.
Lee, you started it. Mike came in.
And
I just finished it off. It's complete.
Those of you not with us earlier, we said a guy hasn't had an interception all year and 75 throws.
Field goal. Who hit the field goal?
Nick Novak hadn't missed from inside of 40, missed a field goal.
Savvy instincts for Reggie Ball.
I love this guy. He controls the clock.
3,
5-yard penalty.
Sports Center's coming up. A reminder after the game. But we've had a good defensive game here tonight. Defenses have shown up against inexperienced quarterbacks. Ball's third down. Throw is complete. Nate Curry made a play to pick up a first down at the 38-yard line. So plays are being made by the wide receivers to help keep this drive alive halfway through the fourth quarter. We mentioned Sports Center is coming up as soon as we're done here in Atlanta. Kobe Bryant returns to the court. And we mean the basketball court, not the court of justice. Warren Sapp and the NFL continue their give and take. We'll have the latest on that, and we'll play Fact or Fiction. Virginia Tech, will they beat Miami? We'll see what the guys think. Fact Fiction coming up on SportsCenter as soon as we're done. Halfway through the fourth, reverse Jonathan Smith. Made Kareem Cox miss. Made another man miss. And got out to midfield and the 48-yard line. 14-yard pickup. Kareem Cox, the senior, knows he let one get away.
And that's Kareem Cox is a redshirt. He played for a very good friend of mine named Moss Collins at Gonzaga High School here in Washington. He's a terrific football player, but Kirk, he didn't break down and grab a hold of the guy that time, especially with a guy like Smith who's got...
Yeah, he's got plenty of...
What? Break down? No, jumps at him.
Well, Smith's going to get around that. But you know what, Lee? I think this kind of falls underneath that category you talked about with the screens and the draws and the reverse, just some things to kind of slow down a defense anytime they're over pursuing.
What a drive here, guys. 10th play of the drive. P.J. Daniels met in the hole, but they couldn't wrap him up. Now he's trying to find room. Ball threw a block for him, and he got out to the 41-yard line. Did Ball knock down Dominique Foxworth, the DB?
It might have been.
He's smiling. He's laughing.
You know, it might have been our guy, Madu Williams. I mean, he took out it was Madu Williams, and he lit him up.
Wait a minute, sweetheart. Ball came flying back towards his own.
Hold on a second. I don't know how many angles we have. They both. It's a stalemate.
Right.
I'm taking the quarterback.
Watch Ball come flying toward you.
Let's just watch, because this is going to be good stuff here.
Watch it.
Here comes 10. Full speed, by the way.
Watch.
Full speed. I don't know.
Your man.
Wait a second. All I saw is 10 shoulders went backwards.
From the 41, P.J. Daniels up the middle. Stripping at the ball, trying to pull it free. Well, 3rd and 2 coming up. Leon Joe made the tackle. Guys, this drive that started back at the 4 has taken over 6 minutes. And Maryland may only get the ball once, maybe 2 more times with an inexperienced quarterback under center.
If they win this game, Georgia Tech on this drive, Dorsey, Tidwell Neal, Riley, Honeycutt, and Wallace, the offensive line will have won this football game with great play right here.
And this drive. This drive right here. Remembered.
Those guys right up there in front are winning this game right now.
3rd and short. Ball has no blocking. Has to do it on his own. He is a yard short. 5:09 left. 4th and 1 from the 39-yard line. Big decision here for Changiel.
We just talked about how important it is on 3rd down, and this time Jamal Cochran stays at home. So important. Off the bootleg, he's going to come to the outside. Cochran is there, stays at home, and makes a heck of a play there to force his 4th down.
Mike says punt. What do you say?
I didn't say punt.
Well, you said you'd go.
I looked at
go for it here.
I would go for it. I'm telling you, not second guessing, first guessing.
Well, always the first guess, right?
That's right. Good call. Make it or not, I go for this call.
Oh, he's going to try the freeze call.
Going to draw him off sides.
They ain't going to draw him off sides. Jeez.
Delay a game. 5 yards, they'll kick it away.
Go for it, Chan. You had him on the ropes.
It's a full yard, Coach.
You win the game by not coaching scared.
Oh, now look who's talking. Wow, whoa.
At this point in the game.
Wait a second.
What's happened to us?
Wait. Did I just hear you say that again? I like that.
You win this game by not coaching scared. That was
There you
4th
go.
and a
Good.
yard on your own 39 yard. Go for it. Make it.
There it is.
If you don't make it, your defense can stop him anyhow.
Sneaking around the coop there, Lee. I like that.
7-minute drive. They'll kick it away. This is the second kicker.
I say
Andy Thompson. It bounces back. It becomes, that's a ball that can be picked up by Suter. It was touched by Georgia Tech. Suter was allowed to scoop it without the risk of losing it there. And it ends up just a 14-yard punt.
Sweetheart, go for it or a 14-yard punt. I say nothing.
The story tonight, we'll see if you know, you're looking at this Maryland offense. We'll see if Stathem's going to be able to move against Georgia Tech, because so far, I don't care where the ball has been, Georgia Tech's defense. We talked about the offensive line in that big drive. The defense of Georgia Tech has won this game so far.
That's why I say you go for it.
Yeah. Third punt tonight, under 18 yards for Georgia Tech. Will it hurt him here? Joel Statham on the handoff straight ahead to the 30-yard line, a 3-yard pickup for Bruce Perry.
Well, we've talked a lot about both defenses and both defensive coordinators, and it's the zone blitz theory that we see all over college football that's been successful for Georgia Tech, especially blitzing the inside linebacker Key Fox, blitzing the corner Jonathan Cox, and then dropping the defensive end Jarris Wilkinson. This was earlier in the game, forcing an interception there because of the way they're able to confuse a quarterback. And Statham now is facing the same kind of pressure.
Yeah, that was a veteran quarterback being confused. The red shirt gets it now. Perry hit by Darryl Smith. Loss of 5.
This is what 4 years of starting does for you. And when you add on to it the instinct of Darryl Smith, he right away is going to read this and go to the flat to make the play. Watch how quick he picks up on this. Look at the eyes. Look, he's gone. He almost beats the back out to the flat before Perry even went out there.
Huge play, 3rd and 12.
The Dollar defense.
6 defensive backs. Statham steps up and throws. Intercepted! James Butler's second of the night. The freshman quarterback didn't get a run game to start the drive, and that 6 defensive back look with the pressure gets Tech another chance, and this time they come up with the INT. Second of the night for the junior out of Climax, Georgia.
James Butler. John Tenuta said this guy was guaranteed to be in a National Football League playing on Sunday soon. He sure looked like it.
He looked good there.
Maryland has all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Ball keeping, getting some receiver blocks to get out to the 20-yard line. Curry and Smith threw blocks for him.
You know, Statham has flirted many times here in the second half with throws that have been almost intercepted. The pressure, Fox gets there, but it's a late throw, giving Butler enough time to come right up in front of that and make the easy interception. Statham, 3 or 4 throws earlier this half, almost intercepted, and that time it cost him.
It's John Tenuta's favorite defense of all time. Again, it's that Dollar defense. 3-2-6 works almost every time for them. They love that defense.
They've had a sideline warning, not a called timeout by either team here. A sideline warning would stop the game clock. It now restarts with a fresh play clock. This is just a killer for Maryland. This sideline warning allows about, if Georgia Tech is smart here, 40 seconds to run off between plays. Because on a sideline warning from the officials, the play clock resets. P.J. Daniels, shy of the first down. Maryland, see if they take a timeout here. They should, and they grab one with 2:28 to go. Good old style football game here. Tight, Pressure. Tech's in control. We've got third down coming up. SportsCenter will follow our game here in Atlanta. Kobe Bryant's return to the court. You'll see the Lakers tomorrow night also here on ESPN as they face Sacramento. Warren Sapp in the NFL, their latest chapter. And Fact or Fiction, Virginia Tech beating Miami. We'll hear from Trevin Mark on SportsCenter coming up. 3rd and 1, and Lee thinks it's 4-down territory.
Absolutely.
Let's see what happens on third down first. Ball keeping. He's going to be very close to the first down. See, they should stop the clock right away, and they will, because a measurement likely to come here. And Lee, why do you say 4-down territory with 2:20 to go?
Well, first of all, what you want to do is you want to keep the ball, obviously. So you go for 4th down. If you don't make it right there, instead of kicking a field goal and giving them 3 points and a chance to run it back and score and tie you, you leave the ball on the 19 or 20-yard line and defy them to move the ball with a quarterback that can't throw it. Because I'm telling you, they blocked 2 field goals already this year, Maryland. And if they block the thing, they could lose it.
Well, there's the measurement. That's how close they are.
Okay, go for it. Quarterback sneak, go for it.
They're looking at
not kick the field goal.
You know what? They're looking at holding Reggie Ball and saying, let's go with a quarterback sneak and go for it. I tell you what, it's interesting logic, because you naturally think if you go up, you get a field goal and you go up by a touchdown, there's no way, even if they have a freak accident play that they're going to score, the worst case scenario, you're going to get a tie. But it's a definitely.
Oh, got to go for it.
And Chan Gailey's right there with you. He didn't even hesitate.
That's good. Because now what you want to do, even if you don't make it, you leave them with a lot of green, with a quarterback that can't throw it, and one of the world's great defenses. But you will make the first down most of the time when it's less than a foot. Good call one way or the other, in my opinion.
Remember, in this situation earlier, they drew them offside. If Georgia Tech was smart here, they'd use the clock as well. See the play clock time. They've got time to take it down. Keeping. First down with Ball. Clock will stop to reset the chains. Maryland has 2 timeouts remaining, so Georgia Tech still needs to get another first down to close this game out.
When you got a guy like Hugh Riley, like Kirk and I love the way he looks, you run right behind him and try to win the game with him. Plus, you got a 305-pound guard in Honeycutt, 310-pound guard in Tidwell Neal. Good call. I would not throw the football.
Sure.
And remember, Kirk, tick, 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 tick.
Milk the clock. 2
hands on the football. Everybody that touches it holds 2 hands on the football.
We've talked over and over about Reggie Ball and his savvy. I think a lot of the credit goes to Chan Gailey and Patrick Nix, the quarterback coach, and how he works this clock and how he works this offense.
Ball runs it, 2 hands on it. Maryland will take a timeout.
Thank you.
With 1:32 left. Sorry to interrupt you, bud.
I'm just saying, there's Patrick Nix off to the left, former quarterback, and Chan Gailey, of course, who's been around so many great players. But I think how they've worked with a true freshman, he came in, obviously, pretty mature for his age. He came in with an understanding of what it takes to be a quarterback, but I think they have molded him and used his experience in these first few weeks to get him to the point now where he's a polished quarterback.
Think about what this team has done this year. Georgia Tech, they should have won. I know should have. They played so well in Tallahassee against Florida State. I know Auburn was not playing at its peak, but they beat Auburn, and they held Auburn to 3 points. They did a really good job. And now, look at their ACC performances. If they hold on here, the last 92 seconds, 5-3 to Duke and North Carolina, 2 teams who are struggling, obviously, without league wins and a coaching change this week. Ted Roof, the old Georgia Tech coach, is going to take over at Duke starting this week, and then at Virginia and the annual closer with the Bulldogs.
After everything this team has been through, to think that they have a chance to get to 7 wins, minimum maybe of 7 wins. Who knows, maybe an upset, maybe they get to 8. 7 wins with all the adversity that they faced. That would be a heck of a tribute to these players. And Chan Gailey, I think, would have some consideration for ACC Coach of the Year.
And poor Scott McBride, who took a shot in the first half, was groggy, not medically cleared to return, but obviously looks like he's doing a little bit better now, as they had to go to this young man, Joel Statham, who's from Chatsworth, Georgia, not too far from here, seeing his first action, unable to get this Maryland offense going. Ball continues to keep it. They go after the ball. The young man holds on. They pull it out after forward progress was whistled. The Maryland coach is unhappy with that. The clock continues to run, and the Terps will take their final timeout with 1:17 to go. Back for third down right after this. A dejected Maryland offense, knowing that even if Georgia Tech is stopped on 3rd and 4th down, they're likely only going to have about 35 seconds left, and they'll go up against our Wrangler players of the game. The Georgia Tech defense, 237 yards allowed, 3 points here on the night. 3rd and 4, the first two plays. Fumble the football! Did Ball get back to it? He did. And it's 4th down. Although not by design, this helps because it runs more time off the clock. But not the way they want it. Oh. But it's not going to be spotted ready for play for a while.
That wasn't designed.
Oh, no.
Ball's on the ground.
They'll be able to run the clock down to 30 before they snap it. The play should run about 5 seconds or so. So Maryland will have only 25 seconds left, of course. Georgia Tech fans right away think of Joe Burns, the fumble in the game here 2 years ago that ended up winning the game for Maryland in overtime. Ralph Friedgen's return against his best friend, George O'Leary. Last time Ralph came back here to Atlanta as the head coach of Maryland, that dream season was going. Maryland off to a terrific start in the year against his best buddy, George O'Leary. He said, I hate coaching against my friends. And Novak, the kicker who was struggling coming in, hit the field goal to send the game to overtime, then kicked the field goal to put him up in OT, and the Burns fumble was recovered. The game ended, Maryland beating Georgia Tech 20-17. Since '97, the team that Ralph Friedgen has been on has won each game in this series, and that's a half-minute away from ending. You see, Tech had won 3 in a row, and Maryland was trying for 3 in a row here tonight.
Speaking of George O'Leary, isn't that a wonderful thing that's happening to him? He's now at Minnesota, and I still think they're undefeated, aren't they?
Are they undefeated?
I think
the Broncos in the Wild Randy Moss play.
That's right.
Last week to Mo Williams.
And he is the defensive coordinator now for Mike Tice, who he coached in high school.
Great
what
to
a
see.
great story.
Mike Tice, who played at Maryland.
It's just great. It's great to see George O'Leary. We've spent so many hours with him. We'd come on campus on a Thursday night game and sit in his office to see what he's been able to do with Minnesota. You got to believe within another year or two he's going to be a head coach. It's just a matter of, we were talking about this as in NFL ranks with the college.
I would guess NFL. He's going to get a great opportunity. Ball will roll out to kill some time. Got out of the pocket, put it up for grabs, and incomplete. Once he got out of the tackle box, he's able to throw it downfield. That wastes a few more seconds. Now 24 seconds left.
And Lee already talked about this, but realistically, even if they make the field goal, the only way Maryland's going to score is on a kickoff return, or if they happen to block the field goal. Their offense, with the way they performed against John Tenuta's bunch tonight, they're not going to move the football the length of this field and score a touchdown. So a little bit of a, you can kind of feel the crowd go, what are they doing there?
That's right. They'll play that dollar defense, and they'll probably pick off another pass.
And that or they'll sack. They've already got 4 turnovers and 3 sacks on a night, and many more pressures.
No timeouts left. They need to go the distance for one of the great Maryland wins of all time. Statham lit up. Darryl Smith again. 19 seconds to go.
You don't do this.
You know what I love? I love the fact that, forget about the prevent defense. They're deep. They're 30 yards deep with their safeties. That doesn't mean you can't apply pressure up front. Great call, John Tenuta.
You don't do that. I'm telling you, that's against everything I've ever learned.
I love it. I hate that. Drop 8. Give the quarterback 24 seconds to throw. Sit back with your safeties and turn the, as he says, the dogs loose.
Yeah, that was... I
like that.
That is unbelievable. Good stuff.
2nd and 10, final 19 seconds. Always rushes 5. This time it is 3 to rush. They're still getting to Statham. The throw is caught by the tight end Dugan, turns it upfield, steps out of bounds with 12 seconds left. Boy, baptism under fire for Statham. Kid who was such a great rushing quarterback during his days at Murray County High School, which is in Chatsworth, Georgia, if you haven't been listening all night.
Mike, you said they rushed 3 that time, right? Dropped 8 just to kind of mix it up. Let's see what they do here.
You just got to be thinking, get 20 yards, you have 1 jump ball in the end zone. Just get something out of this. No timeouts left.
Oh, no.
Here comes the pressure. Statham got rid of it. Incomplete. It is amazing, guys. Reuben Houston that time brought the meat.
No, not so fast, my friends. I lost a football game in the same situation with 6 seconds ago with a crossing pattern to Anthony Carter who went away.
Hey, we almost got through a game without hearing
The game
about
is
it.
not over. I'm serious. 6 seconds.
We know.
The same distance.
But you know what?
I know.
Who threw it?
John Wrangler.
Wrangler, yeah.
By Anthony
Still there.
Carter.
Still tailgates at Michigan.
No way.
Yeah, they throw a great tailgate. His mom's one of the all-time tailgaters.
Oh,
Trivia. Weekend, right?
72 yards away, 7 seconds remaining. Statham wants time, puts it up for grabs. Incomplete, 1 snap left. 1 second remaining. You're gonna bring pressure now. 1 second left.
You know what?
Okay.
Ever since the second play of the series where he only brought 3, every other play he's brought pressure, and it's worked. You can still keep your safeties 25, 30, 40 yards back.
I don't know.
I like it. Well, they're getting pressure. The quarterback has 2 seconds to throw.
The true freshman quarterback made the most of a turnover and allowed Georgia Tech to get its only touchdown. Maryland's defense played so well tonight. The Terps without their starting quarterback against this tough defense with 1 last attempt. Pressure coming from Smith. A very fitting way to close it out tonight in Atlanta.
A linebacker blitz with 1 second to go. I'm going to jump out of there.
And John Tenuta is going to jump down. Yeah, I'll call you. Talking at us? Is that him? Well, Reggie Ball, the true freshman, got the job done against Ralph Region's team. It was a make it happen with best you can tonight. Georgia Tech wins. Huge victory. They're up to 5-3. Maryland also 5-3. Jerry Punch will have an interview coming up on SportsCenter next. ESPN News and Postgame Extra with Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Dr. Jerry Punch. Mike Tirico, thanks for watching this presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night from Atlanta, and off we go to SportsCenter.
You never know, though, but no better time than right now to send you right back out to Atlanta for reaction on the game you just watched. Maryland and Georgia Tech. Dr. Jerry Punch, take it away.
Well, back at Bobby Dodd Stadium, historic Grant Field, Chan Gailey has gotten his first win over Maryland. And, Coach, what an effort tonight. I mean, this win creates a logjam in the ACC, but more importantly for your program, the impact here. You lose 10 players before the season begins. What a year you've had. What does it mean for your program?
Well, you take a look at these guys and the character that they're carrying right now. That's what college football is all about. That's what our program's all about, and it's a great to be on the field with these guys. They just find ways to win, Jerry.
What impressed you most tonight? We were certainly impressed, but what impressed you most tonight about the play of your true freshman quarterback?
He didn't lose his poise. He threw the ball away. He was getting sacked in the first part of the game, and he didn't make any dumb mistakes. And if you can have a guy that'll find a way to win a game and he's leading his team to victory, that's the key.
And your defense, they stepped up. They held Auburn to 40 yards, NC State to -8. Tonight, they held one of the most explosive offenses in the country to very few 3 points in this football game. What was the key to their stop in Maryland?
Well, first of all, we said we had to stop the run, and we did a pretty good job. Not a great job, but a pretty good job. And then we did a good job in red zone defense. And if you can do that and pressure the field goals, we blocked 2 field goals in the previous games, and I think that put some pressure on their kicker.
Hey, Coach Bobby Dodd would have loved the fact that you guys won 7-3. He loved great defensive struggles. He's got to be awfully proud of this football team. Hey, go celebrate.
Well, I am very proud of this team, Jerry. Thank you very much.
Well, the win here in Atlanta, Georgia, the first ever for Chan Gailey and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, 7-3 over a very impressive Maryland Terrapin football team. Let's go back to the studio.
Thanks, guys. Let's flash back. Morgantown.